Okay,
Dunskies.
so you guys are here. So Bash and Harleen and Malachi have just come through this gate. And I'll look up my Zoom. There we go. So you guys are down here, and further up ahead on the path you can see what appears to be an old man with a cane running with a very small, short child, desperately running to keep up. And there's some crashing in the woods and the bits of brush and the shrubs off to your right. You can't really see where that's coming from at the moment, but there's definitely a creature battling its way through the undergrowth off to your right. It's raining, it's misty, you can't see the sun. It doesn't appear to be night, but you'd have very little idea whether it's like middle of the morning, middle of the afternoon. It's just not the middle of the night. It's cold and damp, and there's fog swirling around. For those of you that have just come through the gate, as you turn back, the iron gate slams shut into the stone pillars and get absorbed into the mist. And the raven that was glowing on Dren's lapel, Bash's, it's going to be really hard.
It's going to be really hard.
You've been Dren for a really long time.
I have.
Bash's lapel sort of just glows and then crumbles into dust, and you just sort of ash floating down the front of his jacket. What do you do next?
Have we realised there's someone behind us?
I don't know. Have you realised there's somebody behind you?
Probably not, so we'd be keeping on running.
Yes. Quick.
Did you say wolves? I thought I heard wolves in the
You may be able to hear some wolves.
Can I hear some wolves? Can I do perception? That's a 19.
You can hear lots of wolves.
Like close?
All around. You're pretty confident with a 19 perception that there are a lot of wolves in this forest.
With the 19, can I also detect the other 5 people here?
You can hear conversation coming from your right, so towards the north, as you're staggering around, which sounds like a young child going, "Mr. Jefferson, there's somebody in the woods!" And you think you heard a slamming, crashing noise to your left.
I'm going to stay where I am. I'm going to not draw attention to myself any more than I can help.
Okay.
Bash's right hand will swirl with a bit of shadow wrapped around it, and I'll use prestidigitation to clean the ash off my jacket.
Nice. Focus.
I'm going to hide behind Mr. Zephyr's road a little bit.
So Mr.
We are
Zephyr's
gonna
going
sprint
at
forward.
some speed, I think, if I remember rightly.
How heavy are you?
Like 10-year-old halfling, probably 20 pound tops.
Halfling dog size.
So my son's 19 kilos. He's 3. So
About
we're
that.
gonna
Let's go 20 kilos.
20 kilos, yeah. So he's about the same size.
As he's coming in to huddle closer to me, can I just like pick him up and put him on my arms and keep running?
Arm punches on.
Okay, so you two running.
We're still running. We
Okay.
don't know any different. You just said that there's someone in the forest, so we're gone.
Piggyback.
So you guys are running.
Just like
So-
this little
So
couple.
Holly and Malachi and Bash see these two figures, which appear to be an old man with a cane and a small person under his arm, like a bundle, running at what appears to be a ridiculous speed for a man with a cane through the woods.
Which way are we going? Towards or away from?
Just down the road.
So we're going towards them though?
No.
No. No.
The other way.
Did he steal that kid?
Sam, can you make a dexterity check with disadvantage?
This guy kidnapped us. Should we chase after this guy? It's an odd place to take your grandchild for an
Dexterity
escape.
with disadvantage
That's
is... I just claimed it. That is 12.
Okay. So as you are running and you scoop up this child and you're running, you slip. So this path is wet and muddy and cobblestone. So it's a bit like ice. So you slip and go over backwards. So you are now prone with a half-dead child in the mud on the ground where you are.
Which way are they going?
So they're going up the path, which is this way,
We'd have to run to catch up.
away from you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I'm going to start running after him, see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, Harley would proceed cautiously, not knowing these surroundings, to go and help aid these people cautiously.
Vash will roll his eyes and go, oh, if I must.
Okay, so you three are heading up towards old man and child who are squirming around in the mud further up the back. Okay?
I'm going to head over to like the edge of the tree line if I can.
Yeah.
I'm looking for any like worms in the ground or any animals at all that are nearby that I can have a chat with.
Okay.
Worms, beetles, anything like that at all.
Okay. You find a tree just so if you're coming over here, you find a tree that's got beetles crawling, lots of beetles crawling up the trunk of the tree.
Lovely. I'm gonna head over this tree and try and whisper to them quietly again, trying not to draw attention to myself, given I don't know what this lot of people are doing, and just say to them, "Hey, everybody, I'm a little lost. Can you tell me where I am?"
Where's he?
She's down
I
there.
am in the
Oh, over there. Oh, okay.
Or
Do
you
we
can
hear him?
Pardon?
Do we hear him?
No. Are you being quiet?
No, I'm whispering. I'm like going
Yes.
through it.
You're whispering to beetles.
I'm whispering to
Yeah,
beetles.
Okay,
Yeah.
so no, you don't hear him
Cool.
because it's raining and people are running along the path, so no, you don't hear him. You hear Quinny whispering to the beetles. The beetles go, and then just run up this tree as far away from you as possible.
Can I draw any meaning from the clicks at all? No.
Not at all.
That's good to know.
The intelligence of these beetles is not enough to give directions
Ah.
or advice.
Lovely.
But nice and rather.
I'm going to stare pensively into the mist and say, "Strange."
Do you like normally talk to beetles for your directions?
I can talk to animals.
Yeah, but like I'm just saying, like, do you normally get directions? Like,
Oh yes, beetles are the best. They've got that like magnetic sense, so they always know what it is. So they just like live in compasses. I don't know if that's true. It could be.
You need to find something slightly brighter than this average beetle.
Okay. I'll be looking around for anything slightly brighter than the beetle that I can.
Okay, fair enough. You can look around. So, where's so these guys are catching up to the. I'm assuming that you guys are trying to get yourselves out of the mud. Okay. So, Harleen, you've reached the struggling man and boy.
I would introduce myself and offer to help them up and ask them why they're here.
Zipper turns around to the little boy and says, and remember, he speaks telepathically, so you have to bear this in mind. I am not one for crowds, young man, as you can imagine. Speaking to many people is not my strong suit. I'll leave it to you.
Those strange people.
I will protect you.
Not one to get between the in the spotlight, but I'll go and This is the blue. And so I'll kind of like sneak in the shadows, keep the shadows a bit down towards them.
Okay.
Like hiding behind my
Oh, hang on, we're right there, are we? Or
Yeah, you guys were trying to get out up on the muddy cobbles, all tangled together with a stick and.
Okay.
You probably picking up behind me or something.
I'm like, oi! Who are you guys?
I'm not here.
Oh, you're here?
I'm
No,
not.
you're
I'm
not
in the
there.
bushes.
So
Well, Quinny's in the
Marco
bushes.
and Bash and Harleen are being spoken to by this
What's my cult name again?
Pardon?
The cult of the
Herald of the Dawn Slayers.
Herald of the Dawn Slayer. So what?
Not sure you think it's fun, but yeah.
Yeah. So am I? I'm a herald of the Dawn
You
Slayers,
are,
or I'm a
and
priest
you
in
are,
the
yeah,
Herald.
so you are, that is the name of your sort of, so like the Catholic Church, you're the
Yeah.
Herald of the Dawn Slayers, it's a
Yeah.
subset of the Church of
Like
Light.
abrogator.
And you're an abrogator for the church, so
Abrogator.
you're a priest with a special title.
Well, I am a priest of the Herald of Dawn Slayers.
I don't know what that is. Who are you?
You can try
I'm
with a little
Harleen,
bit more
and I-
respect,
Oh,
child.
sorry.
I kind of like shirt behind. Is that his skirts?
Are you in trouble, young one?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know where I am.
Just making sure this man hadn't kidnapped you.
Oh no, this is Zephyr.
Mr. Zephyr.
Yeah, it's good to be my friend.
Just bring out my phone, just like talking to you. Slightly taken aback that someone would
Think you've kidnapped
think
this
I
small
kidnapped
child.
small child.
Okay.
And who are you, lady? That's you, Rose.
Might have to be a bit louder.
Are you there, Rose?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm struggling to hear you a little bit.
Oh, that's
You're gonna have to be a little bit louder.
Yeah, I'm just saying, who are you, lady?
I'm Harleen. I offer a kind smile and proceed to ask, why are you two in such a dark wood?
We just came here. We haven't been here very long, but we don't really know where we are. We just went through the door and we're here. How did you guys get here?
Through the gate. This is Barovia. You should know that if you're here.
Cannot hear them.
I'm sorry.
You can hear conversations going on further north from where you are.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna stay within the undergrowth, but head as
Head
close
in
as
that
possible to listen to what they're talking
Okay,
about.
as you're walking forwards through the undergrowth, you come across what seems to be a small sort of flock of wild sheep.
Wild sheep.
Wild sheep.
Amazing.
Grazing in what, there's not very much there in terms of grass, and there's some wild sheep.
Upon seeing them, I'm going to still try and whisper a little if I can. I'm going to say, "Hello, my woolen friends. I'm so glad to see you're here. I don't suppose any of you could tell me where I am."
It's talking to us, Bob.
Do these sheep have horns?
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They do not have horns.
Well, there goes my in with them. I will. I'll drop an animal friendship spell on one of them if I know one of them they can talk.
Yeah.
Can they make a Whiz 15 save for me, please?
Okay. Sheep.
I feel like it's got to be a negative number.
I don't know. Would it get to a big negative number?
Oh dear.
It's fine. Yes. The sheep fails its wisdom save.
Wonderful. I'm gonna like get down on my knees and say, "Hello, friend. Do you know where you are or where we are?"
Barovia forest, and then you can hear
Barovia.
howling. Barovia. You can hear howling off to the east, definitely, and these sheep bolt as fast as little sheep can off across the path and running away. Wolves, wolves! And the wolves that you can hear off to the east are coming in your direction.
I think, all things considered, I'm going to wander to the edge of the grove, kind of with my hands up, trying to make sure they don't think I'm a threat, and try and introduce myself to this gathering of other people.
Okay. So behind you, you can hear some sort of stagger. You can hear the bushes moving. It's very overgrown, growing through this forest, and sort of breathing. And if you look behind you, there's a satyr coming out of the forest further down the path.
So, hello.
Upon hearing someone coming through the forest, I would immediately grab my hammer and be very cautious.
I'm going to say, easy there. I'm unarmed. I'm not a threat to anyone. I just showed up here like the rest of you did.
Vash will turn to Harleen and go, "You're a jumpy one, aren't you?"
Yes, well, you can never be too careful where I come from. I'll put the hammer away and smile gently at him. I mean no harm, only to protect these people.
Might I ask where it is you all come from? Do you know each other?
Really?
Oh, good.
But I think we could do the introductions in a slightly nicer place than this forest.
Quite.
Perhaps some shelter? With some
Yeah,
warmth?
that would probably be a good idea, I think.
Definitely.
Let's try to get out of here safely.
There's some wolves heading towards us at a rather alarming pace. Might I suggest we head off eastward?
Oh, that's good to know. Okay. Let's make haste then.
So Winnie, you would know at this point, you are fairly sure with your sort of animal awareness and perception that there are wolves in the forest on either side.
Okay.
And you're pretty sure they were chasing the flock of sheep that you've just tried to engage in conversation and chit-chat behind you.
Lovely.
So you're pretty sure they're going into the woods.
Cool.
Probably.
And there's a path where we are, is there?
Pardon?
There's a path where we are?
Yeah, so you're on as Zach has already discovered, a pretty slippy, muddy, cobbled path. Very rutted. You wouldn't want to drive you could take a wagon down here, but it would be pretty unpleasant.
Damn, I have to make my wagon down.
Yeah, you have to wait. So, you could, it's a road. It would appear that it's travel. It's slippery and muddy and generally.
I'm going to peer off into the forest and say, on second thought, I don't like the look of the trees to the east. I think we should continue down the road. And then I'm going to head off fairly quickly in whichever direction these people were headed, that the old man was heading.
Okay, so as you're all heading up there, I mean, there's no side branches on this road. This road only goes in one direction, and behind you, the mist appears to be rolling behind you, so you can no longer see the gate. So the people that came through a gate, that gate no longer appears to be there. When you look behind you, there's just this swirling, rolling, thick fog that's sort of going across the ground like smoke. And it's on the edge of your vision through the trees. You can just see this mist going across the ground. It's generally pretty unpleasant.
Is it somewhat coming towards us? Or is it like coming towards us, or is it just...
No, it's not coming towards you. Yeah. It's just at a low level all around, but there's sort of quite dense fog back the way you came.
Cool.
So you can no longer see the gate that was most definitely there. And as you're walking along down this horrible, slightly uncomfortable companionship of people who don't know each other, who've just met, you can see in the distance what seems to be a village. So you've kind of pressed a rise in the forest and looking down. It's not a big descent, but looking down you can see a village, and it's got a tall
Pistachio. Oh yeah.
tall houses, like townhouses. It looks really dark. It doesn't look light, welcoming.
Does it look like abandoned or?
It doesn't look abandoned. You can see the odd light and the odd window, but it doesn't. So it doesn't look abandoned. But these sort of tall houses, almost looking like tombstones on the landscape in front of you. And as you wander down this worn, cobbled, muddy path and go around a bend, on your right hand side, on the right hand side of the road, as you can see the village coming closer to the village, there's what appears to be an iron fence and a large 4-story house. So it's set slightly outside of the village that you can see in the distance. So maybe a sort of manor house, a big 4-story house, enclosed with an iron fence and some outbuildings and sort of seems to be sheds. It looks like a pretty well-to-do building. And as you walk past, the gate to this house, you can see the mists swirling around in low resolution. But you can see the mists swirling around. There's an iron gate to this house that's in pretty good repair. And at the gate are 2 children. So there's in what appear to be thin, sort of flimsy nightgowns, like they're about to go to bed. And there's an older girl who's maybe 8, 9, maybe 10, holding the hand of a much younger boy who's probably around about 5 or 6, and he's crying, clutching a teddy bear. And the girl shouts from the other side of this iron railing. They're right at the iron railing, sort of huddled on the other side, going, "Please help us! Please help us! You're the first people we've seen. Please come and help us!"
I'm heading over there.
Yeah. Upon hearing that, Harleen would rush, but also be cautious of her surroundings towards the gate and the children.
Okay.
Can I roll insight on that?
Yeah, you can roll insight.
Yeah, I'm in on that too.
I'm in Barovia. I'm interested in
That's well, I've been taught not to go on the road.
I think people are generally nice.
So 14.
16.
So with a 14, 16 in insight, these seem to be genuine distressed children. You don't get anything malevolent off them or deceitful. It's a genuine distressed children.
Is it just kind of gonna think of the little boy and be like, "What are we now?"
I'll come up to them and reach into my pocket and pull out some sweets, because like that's, and I'll just keep them myself. Would you guys like a sweet?
Oh, we're not allowed sweets before bed. Mother says we can't have sweets before bed. Margaret says we can't have sweets before bed. We're not allowed sweets before bed, but we need help. We need help.
Harleen would like bend down so she's on eye level with them and ask her where their parents are.
They're inside. They're inside. Our little brother, he's inside too. He was upstairs. In his crib, and there was a monster. There was something in the cellar, and Mum and Dad went down to the cellar, and they've not come back. And we got frightened, and we left, and they're inside, and they've not come out. Please help us.
Can this gate be opened? Like if I swipe the... Okay.
It just opens. They back away a little bit and just go in. Like they're frightened, but not. They're not trying to avoid you.
I'm gonna say to the kids.
Harleen would look around to see if there's any signs of a monster or an intruder in the house from where she is at the moment.
Roll perception.
Vash is instantly suspicious of the whole setup.
8.
Yeah. 8 for perception. You see a tall house. There's no obvious lights on in the house, but it equally doesn't appear to be in disrepair or. The garden's relatively well tended, certainly compared to the forest that you've just been walking through. It doesn't look wild and overgrown. That there's nobody been here forever. There don't appear to be any lights on, and there's no monsters obviously running around in the courtyard that you can perceive.
Can I roll Arcana? Specifically trying to figure out this sort of area, not specifically the house, but just if I detect anything that's similar to the rats in the chamber where I entered Barovia from.
Yeah.
Like, what sort of vibe does this place have?
Yep.
I've got experience with funky face stuff. Can I give the help action?
Funky
Yeah,
face
that's the
stuff.
technical term.
Funky face stuff. Yes, you can assist with
That's
funky face.
That's
I needed
I will cut to where you're standing and also squint.
Rose, just so you know,
Yeah.
Zephyr appears to have the same dice
As well.
as Valda. Just so you know.
Oh
It's a
dear.
house.
Yeah.
It's a house.
I'm gonna.
What-
Are they
yeah,
going to be equally as cursed?
5
Okay, so
with advantage.
with a 5 with advantage. With a 5, you are still rolling off the back of your previous perception check, and your Arcana is just rolling off the back of that. Everything here is bad.
Okay.
You're not 100% convinced about the other people you've met. Everything in the woods is bad. Queenie came out of the woods. Everything is bad as far as you're concerned, and that
Everything
nothing
is
appears
not
to be
so-
particularly magically bad, but bad. That's all you're getting. Is just bad.
Is there a stable or some small building out of the rain that we could put the children, well, not put the children, but tell the children to wait in?
So there's a small.
Let's take the 10-year-old into the haunted house.
There's a small coach house to the one side that looks like there isn't a coach there at the moment, but it looks like it would be a coach house with a stable.
So I'm going to go over to the kids and say, hey, why don't you wait over here, and kind of guide them towards the coat house. I'm going to say to them while I'm doing that, hey, what's your mother and your brother's name?
Our brother, he's called Walter. He's called Walter, and he's really little. He can't even walk, and he's upstairs. And Mum's called Mother, and Father's called Father. And they went downstairs, and there were noises in the cellar, and I don't know where Margaret is. I don't know where anyone is.
That's okay. We're gonna go and find Walter and Mother and Father. What are your names?
My name's Rose, and this is Thorn.
Vash is going to stand.
And what was the other
What's
name?
your brother's name?
We've got Rose.
No, what was the
Rose and Thorn and
Rose
Thorn. We've got,
and
and there's
Thorn.
Walter and Son.
Walter?
So-
Yeah, I was like,
so
well,
I'm
but it
gonna-
doesn't.
I'm going to stand somewhat close
Are they going to
to
Holland?
Yeah.
a little halfling road,
Ah,
Yeah.
but make it very clear that I don't want to get close to him.
Okay.
You forgot one.
I'm gonna glance over to the old monk. I'm gonna say, "Here's yours, isn't it?"
We're keeping all the children
That's a
safe.
pretty simple question, isn't it?
Probably should put the
Do you speak, old man?
Mr. Zephyr, who's this?
Rude not to speak to someone who's just addressed you.
Young lad, can you please tell them that I speak only to you at this stage, and that you can defend yourself? I know you look like you've seen.
This 10-year-old child seems fine.
Mr. Zephyr, sir, he doesn't.
He didn't say a word. What do you mean, Mr. Zephyr said?
Mr. Zephyr, sir.
So,
He's
Yeah, but what do you mean he said something? His mouth didn't move.
Oh, he can talk to me.
Oh, that's like in.
How old is this
I
kid?
didn't hear any.
Ten.
I didn't hear any words. Is he
making
speaking into your mind?
Maybe.
Have you got a
Well,
name?
that's unsettling.
Oh,
This sounds dark and unnatural, and I don't like it.
Oh, you're one of those.
What do you mean, one of those?
I've encountered your kind before.
I'm a man of faith.
I'm gonna not so subtly just shuffle between the two of them, while still furiously making eye contact only with the halfling kid, and say, "What was that you said? I couldn't hear over the shouting."
Oh, my name's Etherdwin.
Etherdwin.
Yes. I don't have a last name.
Well, child, I don't trust that you're going to be able to defend yourself, so into the stables.
I understand. But about these, and I produced these two, like, I don't know. What would be a good material for daggers? It's like
Iron,
solid stainless steel. Like,
Are they like rusty daggers? or are they
I
high
think you mean
quality?
consecrated silver.
Who let a child loose with knives?
This
Oh,
whole
is
world
going
is
very poorly.
going terribly.
You never know who
That's
could,
sad. I actually agree with you.
Sin has overwrought this whole place.
you never know who could come into the faded cherry. I need to protect myself.
So Rose and Thorn have backed themselves in, and they've gone into one of the horse sort of stalls where the hay is, and they're sitting down, and Rose is basically trying to comfort.
Do they look
brother.
vaguely less terrified?
Well, Rose is sort of manning up, so to speak, and trying to take a big grave for her little brother, who's really very upset. So she's just sort of comforting him, giving him a bit of a hug. He's got his bear and he's sucking his thumb, and they've sort of settled down. They seem pretty established. They're not going anywhere.
Cool.
Can I do a history check to see if I know what the fading cherry is?
You can.
You ever wandered
do a
through that way in your
history
days?
to know what the fading cherry is.
Vash would like to
It's
walk
good.
up to the children, as uncomfortable as it
Of
makes
course
him.
it is.
As uncomfortable as it makes him. And he would like to, like, just in
20.
an uncomfortable attempt to comfort the children,
Yeah.
just brush the hair out of the girl's from her forehead
Yeah.
and see how warm she feels.
She just pulls away.
I'm pulling out my scimitar slowly as this is happening.
She
That's just a
feels-
general device.
She feels cold, but not in a
Dead.
unnatural way. I'm outside in the rain and the mist in a nightie,
Oh.
and I'm terrified. And
I
I've
was
maybe been here for a number of hours.
I was
Just
just
waiting
checking if
to
you were
happen.
harmed, child, that's all.
Yeah, she's kind of backing into the corner of this stall, taking her
Fair
brother
enough.
with her. It's
Fair enough.
unclear whether she's comforting him or using him as a human shield.
I've got juice flame. If I cantrip, if I use that to start a small little.
Set fire to the straw.
No, not yet. I'm asking with my judgment. If I set a small fire with, say, in the store next to them, will it burn everything down, or?
Well, yes,
Are there
that
any
works,
torches?
but there are torches and
Right,
sconces on the wall.
I'll use
in
prestidigitation to light.
there. Okay, so the coach house is now lit,
Okay, cool. I was thinking more for warmth and light, but that's still a good.
and
still
Rose goes, "Thank you, sir. Thank you. Nothing.
It's
Please
easy-
help. Please
It's
help."
easier to see what's coming for you if you have light.
Yeah, I'm sure leaving us out here on our own and seeing what's coming for us is helpful. But yes, she seems very grateful and delighted.
Very well, I
is
guess we
good.
must deal with this monster then, shall we?
Should we leave someone to watch the kids?
I got an unnatural 20.
On history, you do
The other
know
child.
of the faded cherry.
The other child's
So
a guard.
in your extensive travels,
He's got he's got daggers. I
setting
kind
up a
of agree with you.
You're
gonna watch the kids.
ventured to Midstrand
I thought I
and
was coming in.
went to the faded
No.
cherry.
I'm sure
We're
it's
going to watch the kids.
What's the current
We
lady
kind
in
of
charge
do
of
need
the
this
head
child as a
Your
translator for the old
With
man.
Gledwin at the faded cherry. Some
He seems to be the mouth.
Is that the same
Well,
one?
that's
the
gonna go for
person
it
who
just
brought
together.
him up, who's now very
That
old
makes
in
a lot of
charge of the
sense.
place, no longer works. She was working when
YouTube
we met
relation.
She
her.
was working? Okay.
Gledwin was working when
Well,
we met
something's
her.
really bad.
And your encounter with Gledwin is at least part of the
Can't really
reason why
reply.
you retired from the mountain and set up the monastery.
Okay.
Let's not die horribly.
Well, so at that, my
Don't split the party.
uh, just turns around and go. The faded cherry? Oh, yes, that's fine. Oh, you're fine. Is Gledwin still there?
Oh, yes, I think Gledwin.
When I was a young whippersnapper, not much older than you. Boy, she moved.
Wow, I didn't realise she was that old.
I was going to say the
I-
best
I-
is it.
Honestly, Vash should be very, very, very glad he can't hear this conversation.
Well, you can hear the little boy speak. Well, I don't know
No,
if
he can return telepathy.
It's up to you whether you're speaking vocally or not.
I'm going to go up to Rose and
Yes.
say, did you see the monster at all?
No, we could just hear the screams and the groans and it all coming from down and from another fellow went down the stairs and then we left. And Walter, you can't believe these guys.
Sounds like dark devilish rituals happening down there. Let's go deal with it.
Or some,
Also think we
or some
should go
private
down.
adult time.
That could be that.
I'm-
If they're married,
I'm-
it's totally fine.
I'm gonna look
That'll
concerned at
depend on what
that
they're
and
getting
just
up
put a
to.
pin in it.
That's true. No sodomy.
Okay, so
I don't think that's
So-
quite relevant discussion.
you have left Rose and
I
her
don't know
brother
what's-
looking slightly. I'm not sure they're 100% convinced that the help they
He
found
probably
is
does.
the help that they were hoping for.
I'm really worried about you.
Needs must and all that. So
I'll
you
take a
approach
look.
this
I've
this
heard about
house.
your priest types and young.
Guys, I can't hear
Do
you.
not fucking start that shit.
So Rose,
First session,
Rose, you alright?
Yes, I'm just struggling to hear you or everyone else speaking as well, so I can't really hear what's going on.
It's all right. I might come down there. So you're approaching this tall sort of house. The children are as safe as can be in a stable with the lights on and not on fire. So you approach this house, and there's a sort of wrought iron gate. It's almost more like a portcullis. So you can see a big. It doesn't appear to be locked, and there's a winch with a chain and a wheel on the side of the stone wall. And beyond that sort of gate, you can see big oak, heavy wooden doors on the inside.
All right.
Are there? Sorry, is that describing the house itself,
Yeah, so
like the
as you
front
get
door
up
of
to
the house?
yeah, so let me pull this back up for you. So as you,
Are there
as you approach the
windows?
house, so you're
Obviously, there are
approaching,
windows.
yeah, you're approaching down here.
Yep,
That appears to be the main door in. And on the side, there's like a winch with chains, and there doesn't appear to be any locks that you can see. And if you look through the bars on the sort of the iron gate, there's what appear to be heavy wooden doors on the other side.
Are the windows blocked? Like, are there curtains in the windows or anything?
You can.
Or can we like look through the
Yeah,
windows?
no, you can look through the windows. So if you're walking along this, so this is the ground floor. So there are heavy drapes at the windows, but the windows aren't shut. So you can see into what looks like it might be a study or a den. It appears to have a wolfskin rug and some comfortable chairs. That's what you can see through the ground floor windows. And then you've got the gate. So where Vash is on this map, that's where the gate is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn to Vash and Martin and say, his strong arms, can you lift that? And point to the iron portcullis.
I think this one would be a bit stronger than I would be.
I have strength of the mind.
Do you have strength of the arm too?
Not much.
Great. There's a fight. I'll turn to Harleen and say, any chance you think you could lift that? Point to the portcullis.
Yeah, I would give it a try.
Yeah, give me a strength check.
It's only a 10.
Okay, you easily wind this up. It creaks and but not it's used. It's oiled. So there's a sort of as it turns, but as you lift it, it gets easier and easier, and you kind of look at the rest of the people in the party with this sort of faint disdain. That people
That's certainly how I would look at the party. And I would just sort of cautiously enter and try the doors.
Okay. So as you enter, you can see there's big, what appear to be heavy oak doors with a brass door knocker inlaid on them. So it would appear that the iron gate, I suppose, is more like we're going out of town for a while, put down the extra burglar protection, and this is the usual front door that would be open.
I would try and open the front door slowly, sort of peering through as I'm opening it.
Okay, so as you push on the door swings open. The door's not locked. It swings open. So as you as you open those heavy wooden doors, it opens into a sort of grand foyer, and you can see there's a shield with a coat of arms on the wall of the foyer, and some sort of portraits of, just look like stylized portraits of what you assume to be family members lining the wall. So it's almost like a sort of portrait hall. It's an entrance hall, and then there's another set of double doors in front of you, and those are open.
Can we hear any movement within the house? I've
You
rolled a
can-
15 perception.
15 perception. You think you can hear a crying, which could be coming from quite a long way above you, that you would use the crying of a child.
How about a 24?
With a 24 perception, you hear what sounds like screams that are coming from below you, and what sounds like a crying child coming from above you, and you're pretty sure that somewhere, probably above you, you can almost hear the sounds of a party, like clinking glass. And
Can I hear people moving about there?
Yeah, muffled conversation. You can't hear anybody moving, so it's all sounds. Nobody seems to be moving, but those are the sort of sounds that you can hear as you listen.
I'll relay that. I'll get down, put my ear on the floor to have heard that, and as I'm laying there, relay that to everyone.
Very strange.
Perhaps we should deal with the screaming first.
I agree.
Yeah.
Harley would nod and tell everyone to try and keep it down, and we will cautiously go through this.
Okay, so you're going in a bit further?
Yeah,
So-
I
so-
would
so
go
screaming
up
is
to the
down.
next set of doors and cautiously look around the corner.
Okay. So yeah, sorry, Quiddy. So you can hear what sounds like screams coming from below you, sort of up through the floor, and you can hear crying, what sounds like a long way above you. So this appeared to have 4 floors from the outside as a house. So the crying is high within the house.
Yep.
And the Rose and Thorn did say that they their brother was asleep upstairs.
I remember that.
So there you go.
Alright.
So are you going forward into the hall, Rose?
I would be like looking around the corner, seeing if there was any signs of a monster or intruder or anything like that first before proceeding
Okay,
on.
so
I'll back her up.
okay,
I'll be there with
so
her.
as you
And I would be holding my dagger as we're going through under my cloak, so it's
Yeah.
like not visible by anyone, but I know I'm holding it.
Okay. So, as you sort of move forward into what appears to be a big hall, it's not particularly well lit. There's a black marble. Is everybody else staying outside, or are you all following?
No, I'm going
You're
through.
following Harleen in. Okay. So,
Take the rear.
Scooby-Doo style tiptoe.
okay.
I'll be right behind her.
Leaving your side.
And as I sort of walk through the door,
I've got produce flame. If it's
Okay.
okay with you, I'd like to most of the time have that going on my staff as
Okay.
to use as a torch, especially if it's going to be
Yep.
gloomy a lot of the time.
Well, I've got light. I can just cast that on staff.
Yeah, but I've got fire.
I've got dark vision. I don't need it.
So who's got the best stuff?
Dark
So
I was just saying if
That's to do with your race, not your class.
Yeah, no, what races have that?
Halfling.
halflings have dark vision. No, they don't.
Most stuff
No,
except
they
the
don't.
human does, which is weird.
Halflings don't have dark vision.
Oh, it'll say on your character sheet actually.
It should be under your
I do not have dark vision.
your
so I'll be sticking with
well, your
my
perception,
ones.
and that is, it should say if you've got dark vision or not. Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think halflings get it.
So you're inside
Yeah,
this.
humans.
So you've all sort of walked in. It's as lit as you've lit your torches and your lights and your. So Are you casting light, Malachi? Is that what
Yes.
you're doing?
Yeah.
From my stuff.
So you have light. Okay. So here we go. And so everything's pretty at the moment. Everything's pretty brightly lit, as you can see. So
Righteous.
I know. Good. So if you're looking around, you're in this sort of big hall. There's a black marble fireplace. There's a big sweeping red marble staircase. Above the fireplace that you can see on the west wall, there's what appears to be a long sword, and there's wood panelling. So the walls are beautifully panelled. This is very opulent. They're sculpted with images of vines and flowers and nymphs, and you can see some of your family members there, some satyrs, and that decorative panelling swings all the way around and up the staircase.
I will go up and give the panelling of the satyrs a respectful headbutt, as is custom.
Okay.
Well,
Give me a
these
perception check. As you go on and headbutt the panel.
27, natural 20.
Nice. So with a natural 20, you go to headbutt respectfully the wooden panelling and back off. So what you actually see when you get close enough is that within those vines and those dancing, fun-loving people are serpents crawling up the vines. So some of those vines are actually snakes, and there's skulls. So when you get very close, some of those satyrs have skulls instead of faces. So when you get close enough to actually really inspect it, it's really warped and.
I feel deeply uncomfortable in this house. Just
they
putting that out there.
definitely seem to have a lot of coin.
Yeah. I'm looking now if they've got like satyr fur carpets or anything they need to be watching out for.
I'd be looking for the way downstairs.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay, so-
looking for.
Collateral damage.
Okay, so you can see a staircase going up,
looking
which
down.
is handily labelled up on the map. But that staircase finishes at this floor. If you are looking up to the north, there's like a little alcove there with a door on either on the north and the east wall, and then there's two doors here.
I'll go
and
open the door.
a door into this room that you got a glimpse of from the outside.
I'll go open any old door if I can. I'll see if it's
Which door? would you-
directly north from my token. If it's
so
unlocked.
so one of
First
those
one.
two doors. Okay.
Yep.
So
That looks like double doors.
no. So they don't appear to be double doors. So if you open this, there is a sort of stone wall in between those two doors. So as you look through, you got light. You've created.
I've got a torch effectively. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it on then. There you go. So you can see what appears to be with your torch, what appears to be a kitchen, oops, so,
Are they windows in the far side?
yeah. So this looks like a dining room.
Dining room, not kitchen.
No, so there's a fireplace here. The table is laid.
Any refurbishments out?
Pardon?
Any drinks at all around?
Drinks,
Yes.
yes, there are.
I'm going to say thank God and then grab a bottle of whatever's nearby and do that with me.
Okay.
Pull the cork out with your teeth.
Absolutely.
So the dining room, there's a big table with these high back chairs and a beautiful crystal chandelier, and it is laid. So the table's actually laid. There's a feast.
How many is it laid for?
There's meat. How many is it laid for?
Yeah.
8.
8.
So it's fully laid out. There's meat and vegetables and
3
and
extra
they
people.
steaming.
3 kids, mum, dad.
They mentioned Margaret.
Oh, mum and I thought
There's
mum
another
was
woman in the house.
Okay. So there's so silver platters all over the table. There's meats and vegetables and potatoes and terrines, and it looks and goblets and bottles of wine all laid out on this table. And again, it's beautifully panelled with wood panelling, and there's red silk and velvet, so there's silk-lined and heavy velvet drapes at the windows, and a big tapestry hung over what's another beautiful fireplace.
So there's 2 fireplaces.
So there's a fireplace here in the hall, where everybody else is at the moment. So there's a fireplace here with a sword mounted over the top of the fireplace.
Oh yeah, and that's a tapestry on the other end, is it?
Yep, and then there's a fireplace in this room too, with a tapestry mounted over the top, and again the whole room is beautifully panelled and set as if everybody's about to leave.
I'd like to go up to the beast or whatever the meat of the dish is and see if it's still warm at all.
Yes, it is. It's like it's just been served.
It's just been served. Right. Cool.
I'd like to open the door that's directly ahead of me.
The door that's directly ahead of you.
Yep.
Okay.
Is that?
Oh.
Yeah.
So that appears to be a cloakroom. So there's it's hung with travelling capes, all of which appear to be very rich and good condition. There's a shelf above the hooks with the capes, and on that shelf are hats. There's a black velvet top hat, and there's a selection of travelling clothes. Nothing.
Okay, go have a look at that sword.
Okay. So the one over the fireplace?
Yeah, just want to look at it. Not touch it, just
look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the sword is it appears to be a long sword, and it's beautifully carved pommel, with in the hilt has got what appears to be a landscape and a tall windmill worked into the hilt of this sword. And you remember that as you walked in through the main hall, as this foyer with portraits, there was a big crest, and the crest was a golden windmill on a green background. So
it's a family sword.
you would assume. Are you drinking?
I'm more is there a bottle of wine, 2 bottles of wine,
Yeah,
spirits?
there is wine on the table.
Lovely. I'll grab that and just kind of attach it to my waistband for
Okay.
future purposes.
Okay.
Was my main purpose. Can I identify what sort of meat they're having? Did you mention?
Yeah, so this appears to be a venison of some
Lovely.
description.
Okay.
With your vast
not
knowledge of
people or
animals in
Satan.
all forms, you would think that this is venison.
That's pretty close, though.
That's a fun ethical debate for another time.
13-year-old is close.
Huge creatures.
Sweet. Once I've got bottles of booze, I'll move over to the door on the right-hand side of the room I'm in. So
I was about to shout out if he's okay, actually. I'm like, what's going on in there?
I'll pass on the information I've got.
Okay.
There's a table set for 8 people. The meat's still warm, so no one's been gone for too long.
This is all pretty tight, so once the doors are open, you can see into these rooms. It's like walking around the ground floor of a big posh house. So you can walk in and out of these rooms as you want to. So once somebody's been in them, you know it's all pretty. Once you've opened the doors.
Through that other door?
So the other door here appears to be. So there's a door here into the far end of the dining room, and then there's a door off to the right. This door.
Yeah. Let's take that door.
That appears to be the kitchen.
Amazing.
Okay.
You can learn a lot in the kitchen.
Well, the way down would probably be in the kitchen.
Okay.
So I'll cautiously and stealthily step into the kitchen.
Okay.
I'll come in with him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be as
kind of
quiet as
follow
possible.
through with the
Okay.
kitchen as
So
well.
I'll
Are there any
like
like candles around that I
I'm going
can
into the study.
grab in case we get separated from the other people so we can still see in the dark?
Yes, there's
Doesn't have to be
again,
lit,
there's
just any kind of
like
candle.
torches. There are torches on the wall. So Zephyr's going down here into
Study.
the study. Have you got a torch?
Yeah, but I would like one on the wall, not an actual light.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Keep
don't want to
our
be using
torches for when we really need them. If there's torches, we'll take the torches.
That's fine.
That's why I'm going first for dark vision.
Fine.
I would
Whatever.
probably pick it up off the wall if it was in like a folder,
There you go.
and then put it back before I left it off.
Okay.
Anyway, right. And I'd probably also
There you go. So
what
so
do you call
you're
it?
in.
Douse the torch with it.
Okay, so you're in the study, and then there's people in the kitchen here. So everybody's just generally having a mooch around this place.
Because there's no immediate like view of somewhere necessary. I would like to look for like a trap, like a trap door sort of situation, a secret sort of
Okay, where are you looking?
passage. In the kitchen mostly, because I feel like there would be like a trap door situation to get down into the basement, because that's where you usually keep all the ingredients and whatnot.
Okay, so in the kitchen, the kitchen's spotless. It's really well looked after. Everything's neatly. There's dishware and cookware. Should you need a full set of cutlery, other than the egg that's out, everything's very neat. It's way on the shelves. There's a cutting board and a rolling pin and a big dome-shaped oven over here on the east wall.
Did you say it's clean?
Yes.
Vash will look over at our little satyr friend. Did you say there was a fully cooked meal in the next room?
Oh yeah, all the trimmings.
Then this kitchen should be filthy.
I've got my fingers in the stuffing, eating a little to make up
Are
for
you
the trim.
eating the food?
Um,
Was that things and stuffing eating the food? Just to be clear.
Just to be
that's what I said. Yes, fingers and
Okay.
stuffing in. I'll eat some food.
Okay, that's fine. Can I have a wisdom save?
Yes, you can. I love wisdom saves. If I ever a wisdom save, I'm going to cry. That is a 16.
Okay. Stuffing patience, lovely.
Can I tell? I just had to make it. Like, can I tell something weird was about that? No. Okay, cool.
Skip in.
In that case, I will.
The one so wise, you might be very wise.
Wisdom comes in many forms. I will call out. Yes.
Not to pass up a meal when you see one.
Yeah, I have the wisdom of God. I'm hungry. I'd like some food. Ooh, there's some food. I will say, yeah, fully cooked, and I'll wander into the kitchen to see what's going on.
Given the
With
fact
like
that
a drumstick
given-
in your head.
does this kitchen look like it's been
I
used to
don't
cook a
need
meal
to
recently?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Can I see a wash basin or anything in here?
You can. So everything on the shelves appears to be clean.
And
There is
dry?
water and an upturned sort of washing bowl in the kitchen.
Oh.
Through the door at the north end of the kitchen is a pantry. And again, it appears to be pretty well stocked. If you're going to an expensive dinner, this seems like the kind of place to eat.
Harleen gave me a good idea. She said she was looking for trapdoors.
Okay.
So I'm gonna.
I rolled a
rolled a
natural 20 for that as well, by the
Okay,
way,
where are you
with
looking?
perception for
Perception.
23.
Okay, in the kitchen, you find that in this corner here, just down at the bottom in the south, so by all these beautifully clean plates, is what looks like a sort of a dumb waiter. So there's it's a 2-foot wide stone shaft with a little elevator box, so it looks like the people call down from rooms above to have food and drink shuttled upstairs.
So it goes up.
The stone finishes at the kitchen. It doesn't go down. It only goes up. And it's got like a pulley mechanism and a little bell. So it looks like this is a way of getting food and drink
Kinda
upstairs
like
without walking upstairs.
area you can put a plate in or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to the 4 or so rooms we've discovered, and I just want to go in, stick my ear on the ground, and bang. So I see if it feels like, sounds like solid ground or roof floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So as you are going in the rooms you've already been in, banging on the floor, as you listen down on the floor, you can hear muffled, and it does sound very muffled. It sounds solid, but muffled screaming.
I'm going to investigate the fireplace.
Which one?
The one in the office, the main hall. Whatever.
In the main hallway?
Yeah.
Other than the sword that's over there, it appears to be a fireplace. It doesn't appear to go, again, it doesn't appear to go
Maybe
down.
the entrance to the basement's outside.
Oh, not down.
What should I find out at the study?
Okay, so...
We should have asked the kids where to get downstairs.
I mean, we can always just pop that out.
Yeah. Let's
Okay,
probably do that.
so again, so if you go down to this room down at the bottom, now you're inside. It's more of a den. There's no desk in here, so it looks like a kind of trophy room for somebody who's been out in the woods and slain some wolves on maybe an afternoon dinner with friends. Above the fireplace, there's a fireplace here as well. You can see it here, and there's a stag's head with huge antlers mounted on the wall above that fireplace. Again, that fireplace is solid at floor level. It doesn't appear to go down. It doesn't appear to go up. There's a wolf rug. There's some padded chairs that are draped in animal furs facing the fireplace, and there's an oak table between them with a cask of wine and 2 goblets and a pipe rack. And this appears to be where they would come to, retire after dinner to smoke some cigars and drink some fine wines. On this wall here, on the west wall, there's a cabinet, and there's 2 cabinets. So there's one here and one here that you can see.
Can I open the cabinet on the right?
Pardon?
Can I open the cabinet on the right?
The cabinet is locked. That's the first thing you found, locked.
I'm going to duck outside, and assuming the children are still in the stable, I'm going to say, hey, how do we get to the basement?
We don't go to the basement. We don't go to the basement. We just know. Mother and Father said that they were going to the basement. We've never been to the basement.
I'm going to say, how do you know there's a monster in the basement if you've never been there?
Because they were screaming, and Mother and Father said they were going to the basement, and then we ran away.
That's okay, that's okay.
What are you doing out here?
We're just trying to get you there. Alright, I'm sorry, I'm going back inside. I'm going back inside, and I'm going to storm off back inside and take a healthy swig from my drink.
Okay.
I'm going to speak telepathically to our young lad here and be like, young lad, did Galadween ever teach you some of her tricks of the trade?
No, not those.
It's hardly the appropriate time for such things.
You can't hear me!
I'm aware, but the joke was too good to pass.
Yeah. But, what do you need?
Are you good with your hands?
Oh, God.
Can you not lay down the innuendo so hard?
I've got very small fingers. Don't make me big ones.
There appears to be a locked cabinet.
I'll come have a look.
Okay.
I will certainly know my way how to get into the kitchen. Yeah,
I'm
alright.
not sure that's any better.
That doesn't sound any better at all.
out of game.
Yep.
When which skill do I use?
It's your dex mod
Feed
plus
stools if you've got
proficiency plus whatever you roll.
them. Yeah. Are you proficient at feed stools?
So you're in your section where it says different proficiencies in what armor you've got, weapons, and then hunter tools. it might say thieves' tools there.
We've got thieves' tools.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you roll a d20. So you roll your d20, then add your dexterity, and then add your proficiency modifier, which at this level is plus.
It should be in the skill listing if you're proficient with it.
Why do I have +3 initiative?
Because you do.
Oh, initiative. I'm not looking at
Yeah,
Plus
it'll be
3
a-
initiative
it'll be
is
a
your
plus
dex
2
bonus.
for
Ignore
proficiency.
me.
So it'll be a dex mod +2 to so dex plus your dex modifier +2.
Ignore me. I'm drunk.
Dex plus my dex modifier plus.
No, your dex modifier.
Plus
Which what's your dex modifier?
So I roll a d20
Yep.
and then
Add dex modifier,
and
then add proficiency.
Carry on.
Tell us the number.
21.
You open the this is you've seen these locks before. So some of the in the Faded Cherry, some of the gentlemen that attend the Faded Cherry don't like to take their personal belongings into the rooms with them for safety reasons, because they don't trust the ladies that work there. And you routinely pick that lock for the safe that's in the foyer of the Faded Cherry, and it's got a lock very similar to this. So you look at it and go, easy.
Yeah.
So you ping that lock open, no problem at all.
Am I back inside yet?
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Wherever you want to be.
Wonderful. I'll wander into the study.
And what's
Okay.
inside
Yeah, I'll
the
be in the
box?
study.
Okay.
as well.
So everybody in the study? In a second. So inside the cabinet there is, should anybody want it, a heavy crossbow, a light crossbow. So it appears to be like a hunter's cabinet with racked weapons. So there's a heavy crossbow, a light crossbow, and a hand crossbow, all racked inside this cabinet.
I'm a druid. I start with FA when it comes to weapons. Can I grab one of the crossbows? Does anyone mind? I'll go-
Thou shalt not steal.
I'm gonna.
If the
Um,
parents are dead, it's hardly steal.
And we don't know they're dead yet.
that
We're
is.
trying to save them.
Tim isn't here to share.
All right.
If they are dead, you can take
You would
it.
Remind
hate
me,
Arwen.
do I need weapon proficiency to use a weapon, or just to add my proficiency to
add
it?
your proficiency.
Oh, cool. I'll take the risk. I'll take a light crossbow,
Okay.
and
I do not approve this.
I'm gonna say I'm going to.
I find it
Are
difficult
they
to
loaded?
believe
Are they
you
stored
approve
loaded or
much.
unloaded?
So there's 20 bolts
Not
for
anything of sin.
each weapon. So in this rack,
You're going to be a dreadful bore on this trip.
you've got. So you've got. I'll put you all in there. So you've got all the weapons racked, and all of the.
Does someone want to put a torch out?
Bash will
It's a bit bright.
Bash will actually be
Fine.
shielding his eyes at this point.
Zephyr is going to stare directly,
I'll assume you're all in there.
Yeah.
I'll just move some of you out because you'll need your minutes.
and he has purple eyes,
I'm gonna
and he
be.
doesn't stare
I'm gonna
like
just take
very
a
much.
bolt and load the crossbow, and just be like, I'm.
And for the first time, he is going to speak into your mind.
Mm.
He's going to turn around, and it sounds like this like echo chamber. He speaks. It's just, may you wish to put that back when we save them.
Naturally, of course.
Very well.
I do, in fact, now have every intention of doing that, given the. I don't like two people getting up.
So
One of
So
you, I
there-
can.
so
One
in
of you, I
terms
can laugh off. My laugh's not.
Just
So
the
in
record,
that
Bash.
cabinet on the western wall, you have the options of heavy crossbow, light crossbow, hand crossbow, and there's 20 bolts next to each crossbow. So there's 20 heavy crossbow bolts, light crossbow bolts, hand crossbow bolts, all racked. So it's like an armory
So
cabinet.
is there anything non-crossbow related?
So there's another cabinet. So there's a cabinet on the north wall. So that was this cabinet on the
I'm
western wall. here.
borrowing
at
the
that.
light crossbow
Okay.
I'll have a look at the other cabinet.
and the 20
you add it
and the
to
20
the-
research. Yeah.
Add it in. Did
Monitoring
you
your every move. With this
I'll look at the other cabinet.
Okay. The other cabinet's unlocked.
Think of that one.
Yep, and in the other cabinet there is a small deck of playing cards and
Zephyr.
an assortment of wine glasses and sort of rounded glasses.
Can I look at the playing cards?
Yes, you can look at the playing cards. Let's have the playing cards.
I'm gonna.
Can you take them?
Pardon?
Can I take the playing cards? Unless you want them.
I was just looking at them to see if there was anything special about them. Yeah.
I'm going to go up to the incredibly, wonderfully skilled halfling and say,
Yeah.
hey, why don't you take a look at that other cabinet for us?
So the other cabinet.
I'm already
actually-
lost.
Oh,
It's
you're
pretty-
oh, was it? Oh, I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
Playing
I'm
Back to playing cards,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and so wine glasses of assorted types.
just glasses?
There's no wine.
It's an incredibly useless invention.
There's a cask of wine on that table, in between these two chairs. Can anybody who wants to, in this room, roll me a perception check? Whoever's still in the study. I've moved you around a bit to do some more.
7.
That's a,
Hang on, I need a light to see that.
it's not a 20.
That's what I thought it was. That would be an 18.
I got a 17.
23.
Okay.
Perception's your bag.
Okay. So,
Go ties, they're seeing the dark.
so with
the
a
dark.
17 and 18, 23, you guys are pretty confident and you are 100% sure you'll be watched. And you're pretty sure that the wolf's pelt that's draped over the back of that chair has moved and is now looking at you. And the one on the other chair, its mouth's now open.
I will reach I've got a long flying black jacket that hangs nearly to my ankles. I'll slide my hand into my coat as if I'm putting my hand in my pocket, but my hand's actually going behind my back.
I'm going to say, can I ask, and this is very important, when I use my speak with animals trick that I've got, is that just me speaking normally and animals understand me, or do I speak in animal? Just, do you reckon?
Up to you.
Wonderful. I'm going to start talking in wolf, and what I'm going to say is, hey there, friends. You're looking a little more lively than I thought. Everything all right?
Absolutely nothing.
Do they look like they've engaged, like they've heard it all, or?
No.
All right.
It looks like you're speaking wolf to a chair. So if you are actually speaking in wolf, what does Quinny speaking wolf sound like?
That's a good question.
Does anyone else get the feeling they're being watched?
Yeah, a little bit.
Rose, I'm assuming
Two
you're
wolf
searching
skills.
that room as well. Is Harleen searching the study as well as the kitchen and the pantry? And
This place.
I think we've lost Rose.
No, I'm here.
Oh, sorry.
Are you in the study with us?
Are you? I'm assuming.
No, I'm not in the study. I would be probably starting to head towards upstairs towards the crying baby.
Okay.
Slowly but carefully.
Okay. Fine. Very, very sensible. So, as you start to head upstairs, is everybody else going up as well?
After I douse the torch and put it back on the shelf.
Okay. So you're going to put your torch there. Fine.
What's on the table in the study again? Sorry.
On the table in the study is a flagon of wine and 2 goblets.
Is the flagon more filled than the one that was in the dining room?
Yes.
Lovely. I will swap the dining room that I was carrying with the more full one from the study and then head upstairs.
I will back out of the room.
Yeah, I'm backing out of the room
Back.
too.
Well,
Been
I'm
staring at the wolves the whole
Yeah.
time. Said wolves,
Hands
like,
still on my weapon.
Actually,
Okay.
just as I leave, I'm going to say in wolf, let's all just peace out and stay calm.
Okay. So you guys are all heading upstairs.
And I will close the door if no one else does.
Yeah, the door's
Okay.
being closed on the way out.
Yeah.
Does it have a lock on it?
On the study door?
Yes.
No, not that you can tell. It's just it's an internal door. It doesn't. It looks like
Just seeing if I
it's,
could keep those wolf skins in there.
you can shut the door again.
Yeah, but that's what we did. We shut the door on the way out.
But yeah, it doesn't.
My question is, how do we get to the basement?
So you're all heading up to the
Either-
next floor.
There's a stair. There's like one of those weird designs we have to go up to go down.
That's entirely possible. or there is no actual basement.
Well, we're hearing something below. There's something below
It's
us.
a portal to the basement.
Ooh,
Yeah.
So when you get to the top of the stairs,
Oh, that is cool. That is really cool.
when you get to the top of the stairs, there's a portrait facing you as you get to the top of the
It's
stairs.
like eating the face.
This is the portrait. So as you approach the wall immediately facing the stairs, so where the fireplace was with the long sword on the floor below, there's this portrait. So you recognise the older children. So you'd recognise this as Rose and this little person down here with the teddy bear as the child that you know as Thorn from outside, and you would, I guess, assume that this is mother and father and potentially baby Walter, and so that would be hanging above the mantle as you go upstairs.
Is that bust there?
Pardon?
There's a bust in that picture. Is that there as well?
Yeah. So there's a mantelpiece, there's a fireplace. There's a bust, and then there's this portrait, family portrait.
Is the bust of anyone in the picture, or someone new, or?
It doesn't appear to be anybody in particular. You would think that it doesn't appear to bear any resemblance to the man or the woman in the
That looks like Isaac.
Yeah.
Kind of did, actually.
Yeah, it's a sort of
God,
chronology.
it's a Thatcher bust.
I want to move the bust.
that
I want to
kind
move the
of-
bust. Secret stairway.
Yeah, that sort of chronology kind of mapped to the internal, workings of the brain kind of a bust. So as you come out onto this landing, again, it's very there's oil lamps. They aren't lit. I can turn some of your light now in a second. It's very elegant. There's this wood-framed portrait, and anybody who's looking at that painting with any sort of
I will be.
They look huge.
Okay.
I would as well.
Perception.
That's a natural 19 plus
21.
3,
So both in the same sense, which is that the baby's cradled in the arms of the father, who looks like what you would describe as a doting father, and there's this very odd expression on the mother's face that's sort of slightly unpleasant, maybe scornful, expressing some kind of unspoken distaste. Doesn't seem to be the smiling matriarch of as you would expect.
Does
in
the
that picture.
distaste seem to be directed at the father or the child?
Hard to tell. It appears to be directed
In that direction.
in that direction as opposed to down at Rosenthal.
Okay.
It's at that sort
Can
of.
I investigate the bust to see if it moves or any part of it moves? Just generally just touch it to see if anything.
Yeah, it's a marble bust. It's quite heavy. It would probably be quite good for smashing windows. It just appears to be ornamental. It doesn't
Nothing
appear to
special about
do
it.
anything. Nothing disconnects. There doesn't appear to be anything secret about it that you can ascertain.
While everyone's
Yeah.
looking at that, I'm
Yeah.
going to head through those lovely double doors into the next room.
Okay. Going north or south?
I didn't even see the ones to the north. I'll go to the south. They were the ones I was
So
thinking of.
from this hallway,
Actually, sorry.
there are 3 doors that you could see to the north, and a set a room to the south that you can see into. The doors are open. This room down here.
I will duck through the northwesterly door.
This one.
Sorry, the
Northwest.
northeasterly door. The
Northeast.
nearest to me. Northeast.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
bedroom.
This appears to be a sort of undecorated bedroom, and you can see just without even going into the room, there appear to be 2 single beds. That again, it is sort of clean and well kept, and at the foot of each bed is like a chest that you would guess are for keeping belongings, and there's some uniforms, sort of white blouse, black trousers,
I'll have a quick
on hooks.
I'll have a quick look in the containers just as a are people living in these rooms? What sort of stuff's in here?
So
Not in like a I'm
So
thieving
other
way.
than the uniforms hung on the hooks on the wall, there's nothing in the footlockers, there's no personal effects, no personal belongings, and you can see in the corner of the room what looks like an opening for that dumbwaiter with a little bell.
Can I stick my torch in there and then have a look just to see if it looks like it should? Nothing unusual
No, it doesn't
going
look
on?
anything untoward. There's a rope hanging up. It looks like the dumbwaiter bit is in the kitchen. You can see down onto the top of it from this room.
So this one, is this a different one from the kitchen one?
No, so this would be over the top of the kitchen.
Oh, so this is the same. Oh, then would
Cool.
that fit inside there?
Would you fit inside there?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's sort of 2 foot square, so it depends how wide you feel.
Depends how
Like, does anyone, you want
Two-
to send me up
10
for a ride?
10-year-old halfling, you know, your dad's
You'll be
3
by
foot tall.
yourself.
Keep it on the cards. I don't think we
No,
need
no,
to.
yeah, but it's just the options there. If you want to send
If
me
you're-
up
if
to
you're wanting to,
scout out or
I'm not
something
gonna
like
stop
that, someone's going to have to winch me up and
Yeah.
down. But
So
If you want to do something stupid, I'll help in any way I can. But
I'm just saying, like,
I don't
the
want
options
Some
there,
children, somehow I don't think the child should be
I
let to
don't
run
think
around on
so.
his dad.
Yeah, I agree.
so
Can we
so
still hear the baby crying?
Yeah, you can hear the baby crying. It's still coming from above you.
I'm going to turn around.
You can hear what sounds like muffled sounds, and interestingly, they're still as muffled as they were on the ground floor. But they seem to be coming from this room that you can see into to the south. And you would, I think, assume that this room that you've just been into maybe is servant quarters. It accesses the kitchen, the waiter.
I'm going to talk to Harleen real quick and say, do you think we should just head towards the crying as quick as we can?
To the crying. Did
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah, the noise we can hear upstairs.
Well, I would say yes.
We're going to head
Like
upstairs.
child being left alone.
I don't
feel
want
like
to
we
much
need
go
save
on
the
my
child
own.
before the
As you,
parents.
as
Big
you
red fire.
start to head up the stairs, that time you hear a dog barking from the room to the south, which you can.
I want to check out the sound.
Are the doors
hearing
open
an
to the room to the south, or
I'll-
are they
so
closed?
for this one-
Hearing an animal, I'm going to change my plan because
It's an animal.
it's an animal and I'm
So
into
this
it.
room here, to
Traction
the
on the door.
south, you can hear a dog barking as you're talking on the landing and walking around. You can hear a dog.
Are we talking aggressive, I'm about to kill someone barking,
No.
or run-of-the-mill?
No.
Or more scared, sort of.
more
Small,
scared,
big dog.
whiny,
All right, lovely.
yappy barking.
I'm
I
gonna
will
wander.
stealthily stick my head around the corner to see what's in there.
I'm gonna wander in towards the dog, and I will try and commune with it.
Commune with the dog.
I'll try to
Okay.
commune with the dog.
Okay, so I'll put right in here. So you can sit, and when you're going to commune with the dog. Okay, do you speak dog?
As I read it, I can speak to any animal.
Yep.
Let me just check the exact wording. You gain the ability to comprehend verbally with beasts. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at a minimum, they can give you information about creatures, about nearby locations and monsters. May be able to persuade them to do a small favour for you at the discretion of the GM. So I have speak with animals as an at-will ability.
So, what you see is a small dog that appears to be hiding and cowering under a sort of what looks like a harpsichord or some form of musical instrument.
I'm going to say, hey, hey, and then switch to common and say, you flea-bitten monster. And then back to dog and say, is everything
Why?
okay? Are you hurt? Are you hurt at all?
Let's go. Oh,
Is this not your home?
no,
Did you come here with someone? Who'd you come with?
I don't know. I've been here. I don't go home.
Okay.
Gertrude is my mistress.
Gertrude. Okay. Anyone else? Did Gertrude and you come with anyone else?
No.
That was Gertrude. I know there's more and more people every second.
My name's Lancelot.
Well, very brave, Lancelot. You're very brave, and I'll reach out and pat Lancelot if that's okay with Lancelot.
Give me an animal handling.
Yeah. I don't actually think I took any proficiency.
Zephyr is going to turn
You
to
can
the.
speak to
Oh
them.
no, I
young
did.
lad, and Zephyr's going to be like,
It's a 9.
Okay.
Let's
He
get
seems
some-
very wary
yeah,
of you.
That's
there
fair.
are too
I
many.
will step back.
Come with me, and we'll head up. I'll head upstairs and poke the little boys forward.
Okay. Okay. No worries.
Yeah.
Um,
I would be continuing upstairs
Seeing that
also,
it's only a dog,
trying to
I'll
get
follow.
towards the baby.
Okay.
We try to get away, and then everyone.
Okay. So,
Mr. Zephyr's used to mountains and fresh air.
so you're going up.
I want to
Okay.
investigate the room a bit more.
Hey, Lancelot,
Okay.
can you...
Which room?
The,
This room?
the south room.
This room.
Yeah.
So this room is pretty. It's pretty lovely. It's sort of parquet floor, a harpsichord. This little dog who's sort of very wary, not vicious, just wary. It's got a little tag.
Okay.
So clearly a lovely old dog.
Does the dog look injured at all?
Dog doesn't look injured.
Okay.
The dog's called Lancelot.
Lancelot, okay.
There's beautiful gossamer drapes all over the windows. There's a brass chandelier hanging from the ceiling. There's sort of upholstered chairs around the room. This looks like somewhere that they could be dancing. And there's sort of stained glass windows. So the windows out of this room are sort of stained glass. And there's beautiful men and women dancing and playing instruments, and there's a piece of music open on the house.
I wanna say, Lancelot, do you know where Gertruda is at the moment?
He says no.
Where did you see her last?
Home.
Home?
Home.
Oh, did you not come here with Gertrude?
No.
How did you get here? Do you
I
know?
don't know.
Okay, that's okay.
And he's one.
That's okay. I switch back to common and say, I hate dogs so much. Switch back into dog.
He gets that vibe.
Can you tell me, have you seen anyone else in the house?
No.
Okay. Can you do me a favour? I want you to run downstairs and outside the door, and there's a little stable with some kids in it.
Okay.
Can you go in there and hide with them?
Okay.
They're very nice. Okay,
He goes.
thank God.
Okay. So there's now no dog, and there's a room with harpsichord, and not what else. There's music open on the harpsichord as if somebody had been playing.
Let's go upstairs. They're already probably well upstairs.
Can I just super quickly, before we leave the room, check the music they're playing doesn't seem like anything significant?
The music's entitled "A Song for Elizabeth,"
Interesting.
and appears to be a piece of harpsichord music.
Alright.
Or a music that you presume to be played on a
I was
harpsichord,
gonna say-
given it is on a harpsichord.
On a harpsichord stand. That's a fair
Is a
thing.
harpsichord a harp?
Big
Are
harp.
they the same thing?
No.
More
Harpsichord's
like a piano.
the pre-piano, basically.
I thought it was a
So-
clavichord.
No, it's harpsichord was like when you play a piano, it hits hammers on strings to make the notes.
Oh, okay.
And,
Harpsichord
and
plucks
the
strings like
harpsichord
like a harp.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So the harpsichord was around first, and then they added the piano because with the hammers you can control the volume, whilst with the plucking it's the same volume every single time. So that's why the original name for the piano was the piano forte, which means soft and loud, because it could play soft and loud. Yeah.
I did not know that.
I'm not going to head up. I'm not going to head upstairs. I'm going to be a nuisance. I'm going to head for the doors to the north.
And sing,
Okay.
and I said,
Or at least I want to like stick my head in there and see what's in there before I go upstairs.
Okay. In that case, we'll
Slowly learning.
resolve.
Slowly.
We'll resolve that wall first. Rose, has Harleen gone upstairs?
I feel like the beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
She would just be focusing on the
So
baby,
she would be going upstairs.
trying to get to it.
Okay.
Not come so
And
far, but it's
Quinny's
still-
going into the room to the north. And Malachi, where are you going?
I'll follow them upstairs, but
You're
I'm
going
mostly behind,
upstairs.
behind them quite a bit. That went up
Okay.
a while ago.
No, I wouldn't mention that. That's really interesting.
Okay, fine. So, in that case, we'll move everybody upstairs. Who's going upstairs? We'll come to you in a second. So, Queenie, you're alone. Not that that's bad at all. On the floor that you're currently on.
I'm
How
in danger.
Attached to Quinny,
Yeah, how attached to Queenie are you? Do you need to roll another? Bash, where are you going?
I'm going upstairs as well.
You're going upstairs. Okay. Just move you out. Okay. Fine. So.
You open the doors, immediate death, just instantaneous, no save, no nothing, just
Oh,
just a dragon.
Would I wouldn't be that mean. Okay, so you're going to
Yeah.
the room.
you're
We're into the
teleported
north.
into a dragon's life.
So, I'll give you your thoughts back. So you're going into this room here. This appears to be a study. So there's a desk. It's sort of pretty well appointed. This would be the sort of, I guess it's a library study. It's got heavy drapes, a beautiful desk, a chair, fireplace. Again, this picture of a windmill on top of a rocky crag. There's some big comfortable armchairs. There's bookshelves and ladder to get all the way to the top of the shelves. That's where so that's where there you go. So
This is downstairs.
sorry, that's where you are.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's
Awesome.
the room opposite.
Oh, cool.
The,
I found
the sort of music room. It's a big study, full of bookshelves and a big desk. Very expensive looking study.
Awesome.
Okay.
Check
on
every
the
single
desk.
Lots of
book
things
ever
on the desk.
No.
Yep.
On the desk, are there
Yes.
any letters?
On the desk, there's an oil lamp,
Mhm.
a jar of ink,
Mhm.
a quill pen,
Mhm.
tinder box, a sort of letter writing kit with a candle and
Mhm.
some parchment and a seal,
Mhm.
bearing the insignia of a windmill.
Insignia of a windmill.
And then there's bookshelves which have got hundreds and hundreds of tomes about history and alchemy and warfare and lots of what look to be very expensive first edition books.
Okay.
And you notice that on the shelf there's one book that really catches your eye,
Mhm.
and it says the history of Zephyr Orion.
Zephyr Orion. Can you super quickly tell me how to spell that? I understand spelling is horrible, but is that one word or two? Or is it all
That's Dave, how do you spell your name?
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
him.
Yeah, but you know my first name, you don't know my last.
Yeah.
Zephyr
Oh,
and it's OIR.
Yeah, cool.
And the book that you on the shelf.
Apparently, I missed the study. How did I miss the study?
Awesome.
Zeke's livid that he missed the study.
Seeing
So
that
he
that
doesn't
looks
know
vaguely
yet, but-
important, and there's no one with prying eyes on me at the moment, that's going in my pack.
Yoink.
You know that he meant Mr. Zephyr, that's all you know. Because
Yeah.
he's never spoken to anyone.
It seems important.
No,
I've been told by
But
Define.
yeah,
We had a brief chat earlier.
okay.
Hey,
About
I was
stealing.
book about
Quickly
Very
pocket
white
that.
bloke with the same name as
Could
me.
be he spoke to me.
So no letters on the desk. I'm looking for a
No.
name.
Okay, so
Like I'm looking for,
nothing
or a
on
bit
the
of
desk.
parchment that's been signed or something like that.
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation check.
And then I'm-
Spotify. That's not what I need right now. Investigation. I have plus 02. That is an 11.
Okay, so you notice that there's a book that looks very different to all books around it. So there's all these very expensive leather tomes. This one looks really shiny, which is really odd.
Shiny.
Shiny. It's called Book of Kings by Archibald Bulwarton.
Archibald Bogwarton. Did you say?
Bulwarton, yes.
Bulwarton.
Famous historian Archibald Bulwarton, and the Book of Kings.
Interesting.
Yep.
When you say shiny, like
Yeah, it's
if I grab it, what is it
if
made
you
out of?
grab it, the The bookshelf swings back.
I fucking told you!
Amazing! Amazing.
You
You
might
know it's
wanna-
gonna happen.
That's even better than a letter to find out the name of who these people are.
So you just go down alone and we're all like upstairs.
Well, no, I'll stick my head in behind where this opens up and see what I can see.
then
Okay,
come
what
fetch
you
us.
can see.
Ah, loot! Amazing.
What you can see is
An altar.
again, this is a very small room, like an extension. You'd assume it sits behind the bedheads of the servant quarters that you went in earlier. And there's bookshelf just absolutely packed of black sort of leather-clad books. In front of you, there's what appears to be a heavy wooden chest with clawed iron feet, with a lid that's half open. And sticking out of that chest is a skeleton, clad in leather armor.
Ooh. How fresh does this skeleton look?
Looks like a skeleton.
Cool. Is there anything else?
From where you are, it would appear that there are darts sticking out of the remainder of the clothes, the leather armor on the rib cage of this skeleton.
So that's a mimic, I believe, with all my heart. I don't know if Quinny thinks that, but that's my thoughts.
And there's a letter
Uh-huh.
in the hand of the skeleton.
Oh look, I can't not do that. I am with minimal concern for my safety.
Okay.
I want that letter. I'm going to reach out and
You
say
can't
thank.
reach it from where you are.
Oh, no, I mean I'll walk in. I
Okay.
will walk in and pluck the letter from that thing.
So are you just walking in?
I will just walk in.
Okay. As you walk in, the bookshelf springs shut behind you. Nothing else happens.
All right. I'm not grabbing the letter, seeing as that's happened.
Okay.
I think I know the answer. It's ready. Can I open the bookshelf? What happens if I
Um,
just turn around and try to push it open?
It doesn't appear to immediately open.
All right. All right.
You're stuck.
Look, I've got light from my stick.
Yes, you've got light.
I
Do it.
I will grab. I want the letter. I'm still gonna. I will walk up to this chest and I'll pull the letter from the skeleton's hand.
Nothing happens, you've got the light.
Oh, thank God! I had my second character open. Cool.
Okay.
I will. I want to do one more thing, and then I'll let other people
Read the
go.
letter?
Well, yeah. But what I want to do is I want to bang on the roof, assuming
Okay.
people are directly above me,
Yep.
and call out. Like I'm not screaming. I don't want the entire house to know, but I want to say, hey, I'm stuck down here. Can someone give me a hand? I'm in the library.
Okay.
And then I will read the letter.
Okay. So the letter that you. I don't know, let's see if I can, change that.
And did Zippe hear that?
Did anyone hear that?
Yeah, well, I think we should all roll perception, should we? See if we do.
Yeah, we'll do what's going on upstairs first, and then
And then
I will let you see whether or not you could hear him, or whether you're otherwise occupied.
Whether you're otherwise occupied.
Yeah. So there you
I've
go.
got a problem
So
with mine, so-
that's the letter that you have got.
Oh, it's from Strahd. That's a good name to read.
I'm
not a
I'll read that.
Oh, sorry.
Rose might be able to read it twice if you want. But my most pathetic servant, I am not a messiah sent to you by the dark powers of this land. I have not come to lead you on a path to immortality. However many souls you have bled on your hidden altar, however many visitors you have tortured in your dungeon, know that you are not the ones who brought me to this beautiful land. You are but worms writhing in my earth. You say you are cursed, your fortune spent, your abandoned love for madness took solace in the bosom of another woman and sired a bastard son. Cursed by the darkness, of that I have no doubt. Save you from your wretchedness, I think not. I prefer you as you are. Your dreadlord master, Svalich Road.
I knew it.
Your mama's evil.
Well, I wish this meant anything to me. I'd like to eat the letter. No. Can I do a history, religion, whatever check to see if the name means anything to me?
The Strahd name or the mighty pathetic servant?
No, Strahd von Sarovich.
Yes, you can.
I think the dude fucked up Margot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think that
I
the
think he went to
skeleton is daddy.
The cherry.
You're in the skeleton's daddy.
Yeah.
Or even the skeleton's Margot.
That's a 10 either
Oh, it
way.
could be leather armor.
Leather armor.
Really
Yeah, I didn't think so with a 10.
Yeah, actually, yeah, right, it should be. Because that's addressed to him and he's holding the letter.
While
It's addressed to her.
While you're waiting,
No, it's addressed to her because it mentions it mentions the husband.
while you're
Had a
waiting to
bastard
see
son.
whether
It's
the
addressed to the
text
wife.
there
Not
are
the-
quite
not
a
the
lot
kid.
of other things in this room.
Yeah.
While you're waiting,
I'll-
so books, nothing bad
Could be.
appears to have
She handed him the
happened.
letter to read.
I'm not going to touch anything. But I would like to just glance at the title of these books, see if there's anything interesting. If I can find some spell scrolls, I'll pocket them before anyone rescues me. But otherwise, I'm keeping the letter in my hand. I'm keeping the book about Zephyr hidden for my personal self for the moment.
No worries. Okay.
But otherwise, I'm just going to chill
So-
in my little room.
We'll go upper floor while you are stuck in the wherever you're stuck, and everybody else is. Oh, I have to move you because there's some excellent walls. And just
Who put the wall there?
Who put the wall there? Who put the wall there? Everybody's moved through the wall. So the rest of you come up another spiral staircase, the next floor of the marble stairs, and this is unusual because compared to the floors below, this floor is cobwebbed and sort of dusty and full of. This looks like nobody's been up here in decades, this floor. And as you get to the top of the stairs, there's this awful creaking and clanking and the suit of armour that's immediately in front of you at the top of the stairs starts to move. Can you roll for initiative?
Ooh. Could you post that letter in the chat so I can?
Yes, I can.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Oh, beautiful. Belders' back. This is 6.
I got 20.
You got 20?
Yeah.
24.
11.
Oh, shit.
15.
I was
I'm a
hoping
dex-based-
to roll
dex-based
it,
character.
but it's
Is that
not.
fair?
6.
I just rolled a 19. So
It's alright. It's alright.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I got +5 to initiative. I got plus.
Nine.
Long term, I think my character really got the highest.
Eventually.
As a monk, probably.
Eventually.
Well, I have +5 to dex, and then I'll probably say
Alert.
And
probably this way.
I have a feeling we might end up becoming unlikely allies.
Very unlikely allies.
It's better than mountains.
We won't like
Okay.
it, but we will
So,
work together and fight. So.
Probably.
so Rose, what did you get?
15.
Okay, so everybody is at 11, yeah?
I would not say it's
Uh,
I think it's the same in 5th edition, but in earlier editions, as you got older, you lost some of your constitution, but your wisdom or something like that.
Pathfinder has age effects in it. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what the other is. I think it's something. I think your
Sorry,
maximum
Holly, what did you say?
your con starts to decrease.
15.
15,
So I
thank you,
think
sorry.
You can't have it.
It's
okay,
It's just gonna tap out at 17 or something.
Yeah. But your wisdom goes
You
up.
got
So
20.
Yes.
And Zephyr.
6. Was that a snigger I heard?
Dice have you got, and why? Seriously.
I tried to give him dice that weren't cursed.
I
He
know,
cursed them.
it's just a disaster.
I bought him new dice.
Get your
Okay.
filthy hands off my
Okay.
dice.
17. 19.
Okay,
17. That's not too bad.
Bash, you're up first.
Okay. Vash will look at his newly found companions and look them all dead in the eye in succession and go, I do apologise for what I'm about to do. He'll draw his black bladed short sword out from underneath his cloak, and his posture will go from his normal standing tall and confident to a more crouched down kind of position. His long dark hair will turn slowly white at the roots and travel down his hair.
Oh, jeez, that's cool.
His sky blue eyes will turn blood red. Activate my form of dread. And my canine teeth will extend to almost the length of my little fingers.
Oh, hey, it's Drake.
No, only the canine teeth, not the ones underneath.
I mean, it's a showing some of the
So I'm going full vampire.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
You're gonna get killed by the cleric.
That's why it was very much. I apologise for that.
Very well.
That's hence the apology before I start.
There's like evil shit in this house, and you just encountered a vampire. Like, clearly, you're gonna kill him, right?
I'm doing that. I'm doing this primarily for the temporary hit points. The temporary hit points for doing it.
Yeah.
And then I will take a swing with my short sword and give it a hit with booming blade.
Okay.
What is that? That's a 16 to hit.
That is a miss.
Oh shit!
Shit.
Well, it's been nice.
I'm not used to missing. This is weird.
Now, here's a question.
Yes.
Are the
And it does not appear to be
vampires,
frightened of you.
or people that look like he does now,
Yeah.
where I'm from, is that something that I would have heard of, or is that pretty rare, or...
No, from your perspective, this is just reinforcing that everything here is bad. You've not come across anything like this before. You can roll me a history check if you want to as a quick. Have I ever come across anything like this in my
The
travels?
wisdom saves a 9 for that. For the front.
21. You've heard about people who can animate mechanical things, so armor.
Oh no, I'm talking about...
Have you heard about him?
Yeah.
You have heard of people who are forms of vampire. You've never met one.
Okay.
What
So
about Meg?
Zephyr's just sitting there, just like wide-eyed, like half
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
drooling.
he gets-
I'm
because
pretty
he
sure-
Got a
loves
little
new
book
shit.
with this
Oh,
description reading kill it all.
And for the record, I'm holding my short
Just
sword in reverse.
heresy,
So
big
Okay.
capital letters.
For the record, you do not feel that this is frightened of you.
no, it's a
all.
DC
It
9.
just-
It's a DC 9 wisdom save.
It's not frightened.
It's not
at all. You just don't feel that made any impact on it at all. It's just sort of fun to look at you.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it scared the
Malachi,
shit out of me.
you're up. Then it's the armor. Then Rose, you're on deck.
Okay.
So he's just stroking his beard, sitting on his staff, and just fascinated, purely fascinated, just staring at you.
Oh, great.
How
That's helpful.
where's Malachi these vampires? How where's Malachi these vampires? I'd be
So
pretty well aware, right?
okay,
Pretty
so you're suspicious, but at the moment you would perceive genuinely.
Yeah.
That's worried you, I think, from a Church of Light perspective. In terms of the bigger threat right now, that thing that you would perceive as a bigger threat. Whether or not you want to take him out afterwards, entirely up to you. If you want to take him out now, that's fine.
Well, I'm thinking
you
of
would
doing
have
a
to-
sacred flame and just like including him in my dome right now.
Sacred Flames, it's only a single target, isn't
So
it?
sacred flames is single target.
Oh, it's a single target. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
Which
My
is
bad.
cool.
Alright, then yes, I'll just be hitting the
Okay.
thing then.
Okay.
So that's yeah. So he's just got to do a dex saving throw. I'll do 1d8.
So sacred flame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is a death save.
Yeah, and I rolled a 7.
Radiant damage.
That is quite good mix. I don't have my half of these.
So he failed his death save.
He failed.
the dex save.
Okay, so 7 damage. Then.
So just sort of, this is quite clunky. It's not the most dexterous thing. It looks pretty stacked, but it doesn't look dexterous. How much damage?
I believe it's 7. Yeah.
So you rolled 7.
Yeah, 7 radiant damage.
So it lights up, and you can see it glowing a little bit around the edges, and you know that definitely hits its turn. So it is going to take a swing at Bash because you attacked it. So it's going to try and attack you, and basically it's just swinging its arm into you, and just trying to knock you off your feet. And that's a 7. So I'm guessing that's a miss. So it just swings and it clops over your head, and it sort of stags a little bit on its feet. That Sacred Flame's obviously just knocked off a little bit. Rose, you're up, and Ethidwe, you're next.
Yeah, seeing the statue take a swing at one of our comrades, I would immediately just whip my hammer out and just try and bonk it on the head.
Okay.
Like try and knock the helmet off.
Go for
That's a natural 19 plus 4.
So that's a solid hit. It's a good job somebody can hit. That's a solid hit.
I'm sorry for not being there, but I wouldn't be much use.
You were kind of perusing bookshelves.
Druids don't have a lot of.
Well, that's it. That's a classic. Haven't heard that in years. Well, they're doing something out there.
So
That's 7 damage.
Right at the moment, you can't hear knocking on the floor. Sorry, how much was that?
7.
7. Okay. You come down with your hammer and you absolutely clonk it. So one of its arms is now sort of swinging sort of uselessly to one side, and it's staggering a little bit. It's looking a little less robust than it was. Ethidwe.
Sorry, before we move on, I would like to do a perception check to see if I can hear anything else on the floor other than this thing in front of us.
Okay.
Or anything below the floor.
21 for perception.
So 21 for perception.
This is all our revenge for the other campaigns, just by leaving.
It's really, really loud. So this armor, as it's moving and trying to hit you, is really clanky. But as it pauses between its movements, you're still sure you can hear a baby crying. You're not sure whether at this point whether it's on this floor or whether it's still higher up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Ethidwe's turn now?
Yes.
Alright, Ethidwe's going to attack with a double dagger attack.
Okay.
Oh, the one's a crit.
Oh,
Okay.
and you got sneak attack damage on that
And
because
you've got
you got
sneak
allies
attack, you
within
are
5 feet.
surrounded by
So
allies.
one's a crit, and the other one I'm going to guess that's a miss because it's only 10.
How are we doing? How are we doing crits?
How are we doing crits? Double the dice. And double your sneak attack.
Everyone, do me a favour. Every single time you roll a crit, ask how you're doing. Crits.
Roll your damage. Double your damage. Yeah. Double everything. Do the crit.
Double
and
everything.
you double sneak attack.
Maximum.
But yes. Double everything.
I'm
So
being
Including
for that one hit,
Yes.
30 damage.
Oh,
So
at level
the
1.
little
That's
kid.
amazing.
So the little kid watches what's going on, and you're wily, and you're watching.
This
and
is
you
why we
jump,
don't leave him outside.
and you jump forward, and you feint with your first attack, which misses, but you fake that out as an intentional miss. And as it looks towards the dagger that's flying past the left-hand side of its face, you swipe in and you sever its head off, and the head goes bouncing down the stairs behind you, and the suit of armor just falls, and as it falls towards you, you just dodge outside and it just tumbles all the way downstairs. So from the inside, so you have finished off the suit of armor, courtyard, and you hear this awful, God Almighty, thunderous crashing somewhere outside of the room that you're in. Okay.
Immediately after the crashing stops, I want to call out, "Is everyone okay up there?"
There's just when the crashing stops.
Yeah. So my thought is usually when crashing stops, there's a moment of like silence where people are waiting for something else to happen. So my goal is to wait for that, and then in that silence, capitalize on the opportunity.
Okay.
And call out.
Harleen, you hear a very faint voice. You hear the crying again, but you hear a very faint voice coming from downstairs that you recognise as Quinn.
Okay. Do we hear him like from the call out for help before, or is this just him?
No, you didn't hear him before. You were too busy dealing with all the clattering of the armor and fighting. But in that moment of silence, when the armor reached a standstill at the bottom of the stairs, you heard Queenie's voice.
Okay. Harleen would not call out and respond, as she would be concerned as to drawing more attention to the group.
Vash will go from his more bestial body posture, sheath his sword, stand up more straight back to his normal stance, and as he does so, his hair will slowly return to normal, and his eyes will lose the red and go back to his normal sky blue. He'll stand up, straighten up his shirt, straighten up his jacket. Well, shall we?
Zephyr is going to turn to the little boy and be like, sorry, what was the lady's name?
Gledwyn. I know who you're talking about.
Gledwyn still.
Are you right?
She taught you well.
Yeah. Keep you
I guess the boy can handle himself.
Yeah,
What the hell is
Harleen
that?
take a mental note
What the
of
hell
how
is
well the boy did.
The boy did rather well. I was impressed with that strike. Very well done.
Come on,
Well,
Never mind that. You're
While you two are fighting about what Vash is or isn't, I just go quickly pop back to Quinny in the room. So have you been just sort of waiting, waiting for somebody to rescue you?
Well, I don't want to be sitting idly. Can I do a perception check to see what else is around me?
Yeah, or an investigation check probably.
Can I do a perception check instead? No.
No,
I
you
will,
can do an investigation.
that is a nat 1.
Okay, so you are definitely in.
Welcome to the club.
To be fair, if you've spent 10 minutes in this room, you would be able to see things without doing any kind of investigation.
Lovely.
So in this room, there are lots and lots and lots and lots of books. They're different to the books that were in the previous room, which were, you would say, normal tomes, the sort of brown covers and blue covers and red covers. These are all black leather-bound
the bin section.
tomes.
Mm.
The chest appeared to be trapped, and whoever got in there first appears to have triggered it.
Oh, so is there anything else in the chest?
There are some other bits and pieces in here.
Given that I've seen it's trapped, is it
Yep.
reasonable to assume I can take safety measures so I don't get snapped as well?
Give me a perception check.
That is a 13.
Okay, so with a 13, your feeling is that this trap has been triggered,
Okay,
and
lovely.
is probably
Done.
no longer. There's nothing else there.
Alright, cool.
Okay. So you're looking in the chest.
Yep.
So you pull the skeleton out of the way. There's all sorts of things in the chest. So there's 3 blank books with leather covers.
Mhm.
There's some scrolls.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like scrolls of something? Or?
Scrolls of. Are you having a look at the scrolls?
Sorry, let me rephrase that question. Blank scrolls?
No.
Okay, cool. I will grab and touch them, but
Mhm.
I'll read them in a minute.
Okie dokie. There is a big pile of documentation tied, sort of official looking documentation tied with a red ribbon.
That looks important. I'll grab that.
Okay. So as you're looking at that, there appears to be the deeds to the house.
Wonderful. I will seal the
there,
entire
so-
house.
ornate calligraphic writing.
It totally works that way.
Yeah, that's how deeds work.
Calligraphic writing with this sort of very archaic
Oh,
signature.
actually, what I really want to do,
Yep.
I want to look on the deed and see the name of the thing.
Okay. In this big pile of paperwork, so there's the deeds to the house. There are also the deeds to a windmill, which is described as being situated in the mountains east of Valaki.
Can you give me 2 seconds to
Yep.
start writing this ridiculous amount of stuff down?
Sorry. I can throw all of these items
Oh,
into
awesome.
your
Even better.
character.
Svalich is totally an original name.
So Valaki, you wouldn't know at the stage where that is. You can assume it's a place.
No, I just know Svalich was a province of Romania that
Yeah.
Vlad came from.
There is attached to the deed and the map. There is a map of what's described as Barovia, with these locations marked on that map.
Amazing.
So
I'm going to know exactly what's going on.
let's just stick on the full assembly. It may take the next 25 minutes to load from this slide. So you find this sort of hand drawn. Here you go. So you find this hand drawn map. This is the map that you find of Barovia, and there's a sort of
A really long way. Is that what it's?
0 miles to a really long way. Yeah. Seriously, that's that. There's a sort of circle around here, which is labelled windmill over there. Okay, and the house, the Vista house, are marked over here.
So Barovia's
So
a country, or is it like just a?
So there appears to be, according to this map that you've not seen yet, there appears to be some kind of settlement called Barovia, and a settlement called Valaki, and a settlement up here called Kresk, in a barony of Barovia.
So there is both a settlement and the barony
Yeah.
of Barovia.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely.
And then some other places that are local.
Give me, but Strahd's last name was Zarovich, wasn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Zarovich. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
That
So
And
you,
those first maps seem like they're a very long way away.
okay. So you've acquired this. You've acquired this map. Okay. And some other bits and pieces. So you've got a scroll. In fact, you've got how many scrolls? 1, 2, 3, 4 scrolls. The deeds to this house, the deeds to a windmill, and a signed will. The will is signed by Gustav and Elizabeth Durst, D-U-R-S-T.
You're
What
right.
was that, sorry?
Thorn Durst and
Gerst?
Gustav and Elizabeth Durst, D-U-R-S-T.
that's my dad.
Durst.
And skim reading the will, it bequeaths the house, the windmill, all our property, yada 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 yada, to Rose Balder and Thornbolt Durst in the event of our death.
Is there a windmill
there's no
insignia
mention of
anywhere
water?
on this will?
Pardon?
Is there a windmill insignia anywhere on this will?
Oh yeah, it's
Wonderful.
on the,
That would tie them to be the windmill.
on the
people.
yeah, and there's a deed for a windmill.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty good evidence as well.
Yes. In terms of stuff. So you go use so there's some black books, so just plain leather-bound books. In terms of other things that you also notice as you're going around all the bookshelves and you're looking, that there appears to be another letter on the shelf.
Ooh. I want that.
Okay.
So, mother we know to be Elizabeth.
So you take the letter.
Yeah, I'll take the
So
letter.
as you take the letter, there's a key inside the envelope. A sort of relatively heavy silver key. It doesn't look like a chest key, looks more like a door key. There's a letter on parchment that appears to be from Gustav Durst, that says, "My dear Dimov, I must confess my nights as of late have been sleepless. The child's wails these past several evenings have kept me awake, haunting these halls like a ghost. Margaret does her best, but other clouds trouble my dreams. My beloved Elizabeth, I am sure, feels it too, for she tosses and turns and awakes with her forehead slick with sweat. Over the past several congregations I have come suspicious of the ambitions of others. Their dark murmurs worry me, and though I know that a shadow ought not fear a blacker night, I cannot but fear for the extent of their plotting. If anything happens, you are to be the steward of our parents' house and caretaker of my children. Keep Rose and Thorn safe and dear Walter close to your breast. Should the worst come to pass, you shall be all they have left. Your loving brother, Gustav.
I'm so sorry, what was the name that was a letter? It was
Dimov.
Dimov.
Okay. And the books in this room appear to, as opposed to the books about history and architecture and art, the books in this room all appear to be about summoning fiends and demons and rituals. And there's a lot of text about a cult called the Priests of Cybus, Osybus, Cybus. So it all seems quite, there's lots of symbols and lots of scratch marks. Okay. So we'll go, I'll leave you reading that, and you guys are back up on the floor above. The small child has successfully vanquished the suit of armour, while the others freaked out a little bit. And there's some doors to the north, and there's some doors to the south, and there's the door here to the west.
I would like to investigate the door that is directly below me.
Okay, so you're going south. Okay.
Yes.
So, as you open that door, so into this room, and this room appears to be a bedroom. There's a door in the west wall. There's big windows that are, and there's sort of you can see the mist outside. There is dust and cobwebs everywhere. The double doors that you can see some double doors towards here, which appear to go out to a balcony, which are beautiful stained glass. And there's which is slightly down to the south, where there's probably a balcony there. And then there's a door on that east wall that you can see. And so it's this bedroom. There's a large bed, a wardrobe, two sort of little tables, bedroom stuff.
And can I hear like anything that's being disturbed, or that the baby is any closer to me, or anything like that?
No, you don't get that feeling that the baby is any closer. This seems unusual compared to how clean and unaged the rooms below were. This appears, nobody appears to have been here for years and years and years and years. There's a large ornate mirror in the corner of the room that appears to be sort of mounted on the wall, and as I said, this door over to the left. Give me a perception check.
17.
You think you can hear singing, really faint singing, coming from the other side of that door in the west wing. So this one. So somewhere out here, you think you can hear singing.
Arlene would cautiously approach the singing door.
The singing door.
The door that she can hear the singing
Yeah,
through.
Okay, so as you approach, it does definitely appear to be.
And as she's approaching, she would like glance up to see what the others are up to as well.
Okay, so what's the others up to? Ethelwade, who's like flexing his biceps and making very clear that that's the last time anyone disses a small child.
I ate my Fruit Loops this morning.
Woo!
The second I'm bored of reading these letters,
Yeah.
I'm just going to start banging my stick on the roof directly above me.
Okay,
Progressively getting less and less worried about someone hearing me and more worried about being left behind.
okay. You can hear that.
I'll
Okay.
be standing around like, what's everyone's problem?
I'm gonna turn around and be like, young lad, are we missing someone?
The old girl.
I'm in the library. I'm locked up. I've got clues and lots of gold.
Can we hear any of that, or is it just like muffled noise?
You can hear muffled shouts that don't appear to be in keep with any of the sounds you've heard up until that point. So they're not the screams that you've heard earlier. They're not the.
I'm gonna turn around to the vampire dude and be like, I will find our friend, carry on. And slowly step
That's she's the city's mind, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a little unsettling.
I'm following Mr. Zephyr down the stairs.
Okay. I'm
Slowly,
going to
slowly
assume.
crouching down.
So you two go down the stairs. I'm not going to move you. You go down the stairs. You can hear as you get down the sounds of Quinny shouting.
I've got big, heavy goat's feet, so I'm going to start stamping my feet as
So
well.
through the study door is open, so you can go in. You can see that study is there, and yet this banging appears to be coming from behind a bookshelf.
Turn to the young lady and be like, my boy, you gonna find him? I might be a bit preoccupied in tasking the shelves.
Okay.
I'll scoot down and find Queen.
Okay, so as you're going through the shelves, you also happen to notice that this book stands out. Interestingly, what you do, you actually look at the book, and although the book is clearly a trigger for the door, it's actually a book, and appears to give the history of the royal descent and the kings of Barovia. Just skim reading that.
Yes,
It's a history tome. And when you take it down off the shelf, the door swings open, and Quinny's on the other side.
I'm
Thank
gonna
goodness.
get out like this really old, weathered leather, like notepad
Yep.
book type thing.
Yep.
That looks like it's had paper put in it, like parchment put in it about 1,000 times, and it's barely held together. And I'm just gonna start like writing notes on what I'm finding, and then I'm gonna turn to you and be like, did you find anything interesting?
I'm going to say I have. So I'm pretty sure we're currently in Durst Manor. Let's go meet up with the others. I'm going to explain this as we walk. That's how we drive. I'm pretty sure we're currently
Yeah, that's what I'll be. Fred does.
Are you telling him about the book that you've got that has his name?
I'm not
Just
mentioning.
about
The only thing I'm not mentioning is the book with.
Tell me everything
I
else.
tell you everything. I fully intend to bring
As
that
they're
up
coming
with
up
you
the
at a later.
stairs,
It just hasn't
they
been
hear me
before.
and the cleric arguing.
Okay.
Right. We've got this letter, the will. That I'm pretty sure that was old Daddy Durst in the bin there, very dead looking. There's someone called Strahd.
And then at that point, I stop you and say, slow down, my man. Like, tell me everything about the Strahd character.
all I have is this letter. I'll give you that.
And
letter.
I
You
will
can
take
keep
the
that.
letter.
Meanwhile, upstairs.
You did.
You can also support it.
So
Quinny would have no
meanwhile,
intention of taking notes.
Doesn't
So
care about anything
you
other
can
than
hear them
Strahd.
coming up. I guess all
Like, there's still
attempts
fascinating stuff.
all attempts at
Strahd.
stealth are now completely given up.
What is your
Um,
problem?
Um,
I don't like evil undead things.
oh my God.
I'm not undead. I'm quite.
You're a vampire! You just showed me
I
something
am
very
not-
evil.
I am not a vampire. I will have you know.
Then what are you?
My father is a vampire. My mother, however, is not. I am alive. I am not undead.
Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about this. We'll get back to it later. Let's go find this prone David.
That's when you're fighting forward now.
Granted, I need to
pray about this.
I probably won't ever die of old age, and I don't need to breathe, but I'm still alive.
Why does it feel like your praying would just be you standing there and screaming at full volume? I just can't picture you praying quietly.
I feel like this is
Okay, so you're all up on this landing. You've been dragged up by Ethidwe has come and rescued you. Did you recount the tale of the armour and the?
I recount the tale of the armour.
Everybody was worried about me. I'm too young to come on this trip. I'll show you. Yeah. So you've had the glorious
See, I told you were safe.
Did you say that letter was from Strahd?
He's got it. There's someone Venvarovic.
We all gone downstairs.
Harley.
No, I've come upstairs.
You are in this room with full of cobwebs with a
Here, take
mirror
some
on
notes. There's
the mirror on
Deed,
the
he's a
wall.
windmill, he's a fan.
And you can still hear singing through this door, and the door back open to the landing is open, and there's a mirror sort of here on this wall here. So, what are you all?
So yeah, I'll catch everyone
Well,
up with
you're all
everything I
fighting.
found in those documents.
What are you all up to? Arlene, are you doing anything with that door? Are you opening it? Are you leaving it?
Yeah, I would be cautiously opening it.
Okay. So, as you, okay, so as it's fine, it's not a problem. So as you open the door, a ghost comes out of this room, and she looks like that's definitely undead. She looks like a young woman.
She's
give me
a ghost.
an insight check.
Is that an open invitation?
No, Rose is there. Harley, give me an insight check.
15 for insight.
With a 15, you don't immediately feel that she's attacking. She seems sad. Is the overwhelming sense that you get from her. She doesn't move to attack you. She just comes drifting out of this sort of side room.
I want to say, Elizabeth, is that you?
And she cries. She sort of starts to sob, and she's just sort of rocking and sobbing. And you can see that. I'm assuming you're shouting that through the door from the landing there. And she's sobbing. And, I'm Margaret. I am Margaret.
Oh, that's
Okay. Interesting.
This is reminding me more and more of that witch mission in Heart of Stone.
Narrow it down.
The one where they go to the mansion.
The one with the monsters?
I don't know.
In Heart of Stone.
I haven't played Witcher.
Am I dead? Am I dead? I don't remember being dead. Am I alive? Where am I? Who are you?
Margaret, what's the last thing you can remember?
I don't know. Where's Walter? Where's Walter?
We're not sure where he is, but we're trying to find him right now.
Where's Rose? Where's Thorn?
Rose and Thorn are safe.
Walter? Where's Walter?
Rose and Thorn are safe. They're outside. They're fine.
Oh, they're such lovely children.
Do we know if Walter's the baby's name?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
90%.
So Rose and Thorn asked you to find their baby brother Walter because he couldn't walk out. So you would assume so. I think the evidence you've got.
Yeah.
When you give me a perception check.
Hell yeah. That is a 22.
When you called her Elizabeth, she looked confused for a second, then she looked frightened.
Are you scared of Elizabeth?
Well, she's the lady of the house. She's the lady of the house.
She didn't like you very much, did she?
She's the lady of the house. So you can't speak ill of the lady of the house. That would not be done. That would not be done.
Well, just between the two of us, I will go into the room and get a little closer if I can. And kind of make a big show of looking around and then not being the lady of the house about. Say, did the lady of the house ever treat you poorly?
She said it would not be befitting for me to speak to the lady in that way. And she drifts back into the room that she'd come out of, and she seems sort of confused and disorientated. I must tend to the baby. I must tend to the baby. Rose and Thorn, it could be at bedtime. They shouldn't be outside.
Can you show us where the baby is? Or where the nursery is?
So the room that she's gone into, if you look through the door, there appears to be a crib in that room. So this appears to be her quarters, and there's a crib in that sort of adjoining room. She's sort of bent over and she's scooping up this baby, this sort of swaddled baby out of the crib. She's like, I must take him. I'll take Walter to play with his brother and play with his sister, and I'll take them up to the children's room. They should go and play. They should play. And then she walks straight through the mirror.
Can I, with the baby?
Yes.
Can I ask?
Could I have gotten a look at the baby before she left at all?
It was just a bundle. She was holding it very tight in her arms.
Did it seem corporeal? Like, was it glowing in blue?
Did that letter or any of the
Or was it making any sound?
No.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Were any of the documents I found dated at all? Particularly the letter from Strahd.
So the letter from Strahd is dated maybe. It's very difficult. The time doesn't appear to align with anything that you would recognise.
Right, so like it's a whole different month system or something.
Yeah, so in terms of the date, you don't recognise the calendar system.
I'm just like wondering if this whole family died like 400 years ago.
I was going to say, good question. Well, there's a fresh feed of food down the table and the children are outside. Unless the children were ghosts too.
Ghosts.
And the food's ghosts. It can all just be ghosts.
All ghosts.
There isn't even a house.
The wine?
I did drink of the food. Can I check the wine is still with me?
Yeah.
Can I taste of the wine?
Yeah.
Does it taste like wine?
Yeah.
Is it red or white wine? Okay. It's always red.
Are you
It
drunk?
tasted like
I prefer white, but I'll live.
You were in that cellar for a while by yourself. Are you drunk yet?
No, I'm a sailor.
I would like to go and investigate the mirror then.
Okay. Fine. So, give me a perception check.
$13.
Okay, so with a 13, you think you can hear crying from the other side of the mirror? And an investigation check from anybody who wants to be trying to find out what's going on in either this room or the nursery or anywhere else.
I would like to specifically try and determine, given the fact that the nursery looks old, unlike everything that's in the house, how old does this look? Like, does this look like a week's worth of nonsense, a month's, years, like, ballpark, what are we looking at?
This appears to be, so whereas the ground floor of the house appears to have been lived in today, this appears not to have been lived in certainly for months, possibly longer. There's lots of dust and cobwebs. You can't ascertain by the volume of cobwebs, I think, how long it's not being used.
Are there any spiders around?
No.
Of course.
There are
that's even more confusing.
Harleen doesn't like spiders.
Are there any silk weaving insects that live in these webs?
No, there aren't. This is a spider-free campaign.
I
There are
got
no spiders.
I
Are
got
there
a
termites in the
17.
furniture?
I got a 17 investigation inside
Okay,
the
for a 17 investigation, you think the mirror comes off the wall?
room. Sorry.
You think the mirror
I
comes
think
off
the
the
A
mirror-
wall?
wild Spider-Man. Yes.
Just
Anybody looking anywhere else while all of this is going on? So I
would like to scoop up some
two
dust and
further
twist it.
doors up to the north,
there
and there's
anything
this
that way?
nursery down here.
I'll have a look in the doors at the north.
You going up that way? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Malco thinks that the mirror comes off the door to the north. You find
Oh, that looks
what
old.
appears to be, again, you would guess this to be the master
Yeah.
bedroom?
I think it's all
the
ghosts.
master bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's similar to this whole floor. It's disused and covered in dust. It is dusty, cobweb-filled room. It's got burgundy drapes and stained glass panels in the window, and all the designs in the stained glass are primarily green with a windmill. So very similar to the sort of theme of the house. Yep.
Tell me if I'm overlooking into this.
Yes.
So far, we've seen a master bedroom,
Yes.
servants' quarters on the lower level,
Yes.
and what looks to be a nursery the room down.
Yes.
We haven't found a room that children would stay in yet.
No.
Cool.
There is a staircase going up.
Oh, it goes up more, doesn't it?
You,
I
yeah,
thought this
you
was the
can't-
top floor.
We
Third
haven't
floor.
found that.
So you can't.
Third floor. Okay,
You,
cool.
you haven't found that.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, but you
Yeah.
haven't found that.
We're on the
So
third floor.
Malco
Yeah, I'm gonna
thinks
pull
there's
that.
something going on behind the mirror, and the nursemaid walks through the mirror. So in the master bedroom, so there's a four-poster bed, there's embroidered curtains, there's gossamer veils. It's all very fancy, but completely covered in dust.
Mm-hmm.
There's two wardrobes and a wood-framed mirror with a jewellery box and a padded chair, so like a dressing table. There's a tiger skin rug, as opposed to wolf skin downstairs. There's a tiger skin rug, and it looks like it's started to rot. There's a portrait over the fireplace in this room, which is the man and the woman from the portrait of the family downstairs.
Yep.
In this corner down here, there's a little parlour with a table and two chairs, and there's a bowl and a jug, and so that other than the two wardrobes and the dresser with the jewellery box, there's nothing particular.
That other door.
This one?
Well, either of them. There's two I can see.
So this down here, this is a closet. This is it's
Figured as
filled
much.
with
Well, that's the other door at the north.
right here. Yeah. So this goes out to like a little balcony, like a little Romeo and Juliet balcony.
Mhm.
Out there, it's very nice. With stained glass double doors going out onto the
Is there a
balcony.
door to the south as well?
There is.
Okay,
Okay.
That's the dumbwaiter.
That's the dumbwaiter.
Well, go back out and go to the door to the immediately
Dumb way
to
to
the south.
into your bedroom. That's the way to live.
It's
That's
the
the
way
way
to
to
live.
Absolutely.
It's like the sort of gothic teasmate.
Gothic,
no,
Gothic
yeah,
Uber
that
Eats.
door to the south.
You're coming out this
Yeah.
way to this. Okay.
Because the room doesn't seem to hold it.
Okay. Do you want to, before you leave this room, do you want to look at
Have a
any
quick-
of the stuff?
I'll have
that's
a
around?
quick look through the dresser and the jewelry box.
Okay. So there is a jewelry box which is made of silver with sort of gold filigree. It's very ornate and fancy. In there are 3 gold rings. One sort of signet ring with the crest of the windmill on it, and then 2 ladies' rings. There is a thin platinum necklace with a topaz pendant that looks very expensive, and there's a letter.
I would like to look at the letter, please.
Okay. So the letter appears to have been written and never sent. And the letter is from Elizabeth first
Yes.
to Mrs. Petrovna.
Mrs. Petrovna.
Mrs. Petrovna, dear Mrs. Petrovna, your advice on dealing with the unwanted fiend in my home is good indeed. Tonight's ceremony will proceed as planned when the moon is at its highest peak, without, of course, the attendance of Mr. Durst. I must agree with you that with the assistance of such a remarkably innocent subject, the results of our proceedings may be far improved. Innocent, of course, is not quite the term that I would use. If nothing else, I'm relieved that I shall soon no longer have to suffer the harlot's insufferable presence each time we pass through her quarters to our meeting space. We shall be well rid of her indeed. My thanks, Mrs. Elizabeth Durst.
She sacrificed the kid.
The kid? I
She
thought
sacrificed the baby.
sacrificed Margaret.
No, she sacrificed the baby to get rid of Margaret.
I
Well, that's
thought they might have sacrificed.
Just
the
murder the woman.
So who was it written to?
So that was written to a Mrs. Petrovna, and it's from Elizabeth Durst, and it's folded into what appears to be her jewellery box, a lady's jewellery box in the master bedroom, and hasn't been sent.
She sacrificed the baby to get rid of the mistress.
Oh well, I'm pulling the mirror off. the wall.
Okay.
I'm going in through the door at the north.
Okay, so
So we'll basically converge.
Oh, this door just here.
Yeah,
that other
that's
door.
the door I'm going to.
Okay, that's fine.
Did you take any of the rings or anything?
No.
Oh, can I go with it?
I absolutely reckon the road would be able to hear gold rings clinking from
Yeah,
half
I
the
was
absolutely.
way.
going and we
Okay,
played.
I'm
so-
not interested in riches.
so as the gold rings are clinking,
Do you look like a warlock? Like, do you look like someone who knows magic type stuff?
No. I look more like a vampire than anything else.
Yeah.
so this
We don't have
so,
anyone magic like that.
so this appears to be a bathroom.
Okay.
Okay. So this appears to be a bathroom, and then if we're going down here, this appears to be a nursery sort of room with a crib.
Sorry, did I leak this stuff?
You can make stuff if you want to. You take your jewellery box as well.
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to cast your appraising eye on it in terms of?
Oh yes, I'll do that. My 10-year-old appraising eye.
Well, I'm pretty confident that in your 10-year-old appraising eye, you've logged stuff, nicked stuff, pawned stuff
Oh god, yes.
as part of your general
Oh yes.
skill set.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you sort of get your 10-year-old monocle, jewelry thing to have a look at this stuff, which just looks ridiculous in your little 10-year-old eye. So you think that the jewelry box itself is probably worth about 75 gold pieces. That you would value in your pawn shop experience that the gold rings that you would have previously pilfered off wealthy people shopping in Mid-Strand to be about 25 gold each. And the platinum necklace.
So there's 2 rings, wasn't there?
Three.
3 significant.
Yeah.
That's 150 gold so far.
Yep. I'm happy if you want to keep the items or if you want to just put it through as gold.
Oh, okay, yep.
So I'm easy either way. And there is a platinum chained necklace with a topaz pendant. Okay.
Yep.
And you would conservatively value that at around about 500 gold pieces.
500.
But you reckon if you could find the right buyer, you might be able to get a bit more for that in the right markets.
Yep.
But it makes you uncomfortable.
No, keep it in the box.
I like
That's
this.
technically 800 gold.
In his
Right
pocket.
there.
Okay, all good. Okay. So
Little one
anything else you want to
thing.
look at? So this bathroom, there was nothing. There was a bath, an iron claw-footed bath,
With all the switch shop.
a little basin of
You can have no tea.
there's no water in it on a stone pedestal. That's about it in there. There's a nursery, which is where you saw Margaret take the take.
Vash, are you sharing that letter with anyone at all?
I'd pass it around.
if you look in or go into the nursery, it's a crib on a little rocking base. It's a crib on a little rocking base, and the drapes over the crib are sort of black gossamer. It's not desperately kind
Cheerful.
of traditional nursery wear, I would guess. And inside the crib is a bundle.
Ooh, I want to check that out. I will risk my fingers.
Skeleton. Skeleton number 2.
Skeleton number 2.
There's nothing other than a bundle of swaddling clothes.
A bundle of swaddling clothes, right.
There's no skeleton. There's no baby.
Can I, I assume if there was a baby just in these, they'd be, warm a little or something?
Mm-hmm.
Compared to if they've been sitting cold for several months?
Yep.
If I feel them, do I get any indication or anything like that? What's the...
No, it's cold fabric.
Cold
It doesn't feel like a child's been snatched out.
Yeah, that's what, like if the ghost just came back and picked the baby up at us.
No, it's cold. And behind the mirror, you take the mirror down.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
So behind the mirror, there appears to be what looks like a door in the wooden panelling that is, and the panelling up here is covered in what looks like ivy and berries and sort of like winter sort of holly and ivy berries.
Can I, given the experience downstairs, get a real good look at those?
When you have a really good look at those, you can see eyeballs in the berries, and they appear to just sort of move and follow you around the room.
That's creepy ass.
I can make them sunnier.
No, it's meant to be unsettling.
Love it.
Okay, so that door just opens, so there is.
Sorry, there's a bunch of...
So I assume that behind that slightly freaky panel in the wall, it just slides across, and behind there is a staircase, and that staircase starts on this floor and goes up.
Well, shall we?
Yep. Let's do it.
Starts on this level and goes up.
Up. Okay.
Up we go.
Up we go. So, you
Seem
can.
less like a house and more like a...
So while I move people up a level, you can level up to level 2.
Ah, awesome.
Really?
Yes. Not that in any way suggests that you might need.
We might
And
need
you
the
may
extra
want
level.
to do it
You might
quickly.
need some more hit points. Yeah.
Are you alright with fixed
How do we do that?
I'm
hit pointing?
happy with you doing your hit points. However you fancy.
Wonderful. I like to add 100 each level, personally.
Oh yeah. Personally,
Only when
that'd
I'm
be the way to
playing,
do
of
it.
course.
Yeah.
That'd be the way to do it.
Oh, awesome. I've got wild shape finally.
Yes, you do.
Well, not really finally.
Just magically filled up on its own. Kind of
I have magical powers.
How do we do that?
This is the real
level two,
druid
then you
drunk
gotta
powers.
manage HP.
How do you-
So you
No? You go out. So go to manage character and levels.
Alright.
I know we're 50 movement speed.
You have to let it load. Yeah. It's
What
loading.
what subclasses are people going who get them? Does anyone know?
Hey?
Oh, no one else gets them at level 2.
No.
Just
Wizards and druids get it at level 2. Sorcerers, warlocks.
Brian, what subclass should I play?
Depends on what you want to do.
I'm thinking
question.
either Circle of Wildfire or just Circle of the Moon and get higher CR, Wild Shape.
Given its stride, I'd go with Moon.
That sounds like solid thinking. Alright.
Given a stride.
So I
I'll
can
give
go
it that.
CR1 creatures. Amazing. I'm happy with that.
How do I get my Eldritch Invocations?
Does my HP reset? Because I did some damage a while ago.
Do I want
Are we leveling up?
No, you
Yep,
are.
we're leveling up to level 2.
HP? Okay.
So you are not
I missed that.
taking a long rest.
Oh, so you don't actually get the HP yet, do you? Your max HP
So
goes
no,
up, but
your
you
max HP goes up, but if you've taken damage, you stay at your current HP. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you've not taken any damage, then both will go up.
Do I have to argue with you what creatures I've reasonably seen, or can I just throw them in there?
You spent half of your life on 5 hour process what creatures you've seen.
Amazing.
Are creatures that you hallucinate while drunk creatures?
Yeah, I argue they are.
Of course you would. Yes. Okay.
So like a manticore?
Dire
Want to be able
Okay.
to see really, really well, or do I want to be able to
Because
disguise
trouble,
myself?
then, you know. So,
absolutely have to.
you're up in, so from the outside of the house, you can see that you're probably in an attic. And you're in a hallway and it's bare, and this floor is completely choked with dust and cobwebs. It's like nobody's been up here for much longer. So you get the feeling that nobody comes up here. It's like going to that room of the house that, you know, when you open the attic in a new house and discover that, you know, there's stuff in there from 1983. It's Jumanji style, okay?
Can we hear the drums?
You can hear the drums. You can hear crying, Harley, up here. There is a door in front of you, and that is locked. So this door in front of this one here is locked.
Amazing.
Alright, so what do we do now that I've leveled up?
So once you've finished all the stuff there, you can anything you need to just go back to your character sheet and you should be all good.
What do I do here?
So anything selected means you need to make a choice, but you're all good because you just unlock extra stuff.
So the only thing that you'll need to do when you go back to your character sheet is potentially go to spells, manage spells, and you'll have some extra spells.
Thanks, I almost forgot to do that.
Spell slots.
Just let you know,
Yes,
I took Armor of Shadows
Armor of Shadows.
and Devil Sight.
Lovely. Of course you did.
I was tossing up between Devil Sight, Eldritch Sight, and Masterman Faces.
Yeah. Devil's Sight is Magical Darkness.
It's 120 foot dark vision in magical darkness. So I can
I
see.
have Devil's Sight, I should know that.
Yeah, I can see for 120 feet no matter what the you've done.
I just want to check with the hit points. You're adding like 1d whatever it says,
1d10
right?
for fighter.
Yeah, so you
you're
roll a 10-sided dice.
1d10 plus your con mod.
Is it?
Okay,
just
cool.
add
Just wanted to make sure.
The options are you can either
If you're in D&D Beyond, it should do it automatically. There's 1d10 plus con mod.
That's what I did.
You just add it in
Yeah.
in your where you pick your class.
Yeah.
Manage HP.
Yeah.
You just add the number to the number that's already existing there.
Yeah, that was just double checking that I was doing it right because I rolled a 10.
You're on. Are you okay? We all good?
Yep.
So
Yep.
you're on a landing. It's really dusty and dank and pretty horrible up here. There's a locked door in front of you, and there's a door behind at the bottom where Ethelwee is currently standing. So you just come up this staircase here. Okay. There's a door here that's locked. There's a door here. You can see sort of into this room a little bit, and it appears to be just stuff covered in sheets. Stuff covered in sheets. It's like a dumping ground of stuff, like most attics. Okay.
Like I'm not a hoarder, but I could be.
You could be.
I'll activate my Armor of Shadows.
Okay. Crack on. Where's everybody going?
That door there to the north of us
Yes.
looks far too tempting to leave closed.
Okay. And
I'm
it's locked.
wandering through there. It's locked.
Yes.
I will attempt to pick the lock.
What's it made out of?
It's a sort of heavy steel lock.
So you're not the only one with
with
a big lock.
it's padlock, but it's got a relatively large keyhole.
What about is the door itself wood?
The door is
And this place is
attempt to
like
pick the lock.
months in abandonment. Before you try that, can I just go up and headbutt it to see if I can knock it off its hinges?
you can, if you want to.
Can I do that as an attack roll since I have Ram as a saber?
Yes.
Damn, because I was going to unlock it.
So
You're probably
there's
gonna need.
people trying to pick it,
That's only a
trying to
12.
rub it.
That's only a 12.
You bounce off the door, and the wood splinters a bit, but the padlock holds the wood of the actual paneling of the door splinters a little bit.
This idiot.
Roll.
It was a fantastic plan. It was just poorly executed.
You, while you're doing that,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
a letter in an envelope flies out of your pocket onto the ground.
Oh.
The one that you picked up in the room with the chest.
Oh yeah, I wasn't keeping any of those
No, I
secret.
know.
Okay,
It
cool,
flew out
cool,
of
cool.
your pocket as you were ramming.
Alright.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
attempt to pick the lock.
Ethrid's watching with some.
If I've
professional
noticed it's
interest.
fallen out, I'll just.
I have
put it
proficiency in
back.
thieves' tools.
Did I notice?
Oh, it's got a key. Oh, I've got a key. I'll pull that out and.
Oh,
What I'll do is, as you're pinging it, I'll try to subtly give it to you.
Oh.
You just headbutted
I
the
could
door
have
out.
quite easily opened this, but all right, well, I'll use the key. I did
Yeah.
roll 25 so I would have
I
opened
now
it.
have
And
keys.
with that
It's kind of
key-
ironic.
And a 25. That key appears to fit that padlock perfectly as Quinny rushes.
All according to plan.
Okay.
Well, that's using your head, isn't it?
So as you unlock,
I'm gonna start drinking some more. Quinny's gonna drink some more. I mean.
To numb the headache.
so as you
Ah!
Alice,
Ooh.
so as you enter this room, I'll make a couple of you presume everybody's in there. I'll assume everybody's in there. It's just easier to not move everybody.
Yeah.
Because I've moved you again. As you unlock the door, there's a sort of puff of dust comes out. This door hasn't been unlocked in a really long time. There's dust in the lock. So as you unlock it, this sort of dust falls out of the keyhole and the lock opens. And inside there are two beds that are child size, single beds, and the hinges go. And these aren't oiled. This isn't a well-maintained room of this house. This hasn't been open for a long time. And there's this sort of light diffusing through the windows, and the windows are heavy in sort of mud and dirt and dust. So the light coming through is really diffused and pale. And there's a chest in the middle of the room, overflowing with toys, and there's a doll's house sitting next to that sort of toy box, and everything is covered in cobwebs. And lying next to the doll's house on the rug are two skeletons wearing nightgowns, one of whom is clutching a small teddy bear.
Like the ones
Ruby
that
and Thorn, Rose and Thorn are dead.
They may
Did Rose and Thorn have? Did one of them have a teddy bear? when
Yeah,
we
in the
saw them?
painting. No, the one.
In the painting, Thorn has
No,
a
no, but
painting.
in the actual when we met them outside,
Yeah.
did they have a teddy bear?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
mean outside? We didn't mean outside.
I did inside on them too. I want to get back to the roller.
I checked their temperature and they were like normal.
Ooh, spooky ghosts.
I think
It's
it's
because they're not both.
It's the Halloween
We don't know
episode every week. Yeah.
Great. I'm gonna note the hell out of that. I don't really do corpses.
Okay.
I'm just gonna back away out of there and leave the more professional people to handle that.
Corpses don't bother for our sheer will inspection.
Okay.
Give them
So-
the over.
As they appear to have been dead a very long time.
Can I determine a cause of death?
Death.
No. They, in terms of, give me an investigation check.
I would help him with trying to determine the cause of death.
Does that mean I'm getting the help action?
You get advantage with the help action.
Oh, natural 20 for 23.
Okay, so what you can definitely determine is there's no violences before these two skeletons. So these skeletons are intact. They haven't been bludgeoned. There's no chips off any of the bones where there might have been stab wounds. There's no broken bones in the neck suggesting strangling or hanging. You know, these skeletons are intact as if they lay there and
And died.
died. Yeah. Around the skeletons, there's a toy chest that appears to be full of stuffed animals and general toys that are just spilling out all over the carpet, and a doll's house that appears to be, from the outside, a replica of this the house. It looks like a small model of
Find the
this
basement.
Can I look at the doll's house with my high investigation check and determine the entrance to the basement?
Okay, so as you open the front of the doll's house, there are lots of tiny dolls inside the doll's house that are like they're made out of resin, little dolls. And you look at the floor that you're on, and there's a room with 2 beds in the corner and a tiny little toy box, and then there's 6 dolls in.
Is it a satyr, a vampire,
It
3
may look
humans and a halfling?
familiar. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So there's 6 dolls that appear to look like you, and down in the foyer on the ground floor where you very first came in the room with the crest, is a small dog that's sort of sitting, a little resin model of a dog, and there's 2 children, and you can see that there appears to be a spiral staircase that's from this floor that appears to go all the way down inside an enclosed sort of column all the way down to the bottom, but continues to go down, and then there isn't anything.
I know where the entrance is from this.
Yes.
Okay.
You would
So
be able
first
to
I'll
find
turn and go, well, this is incredibly creepy.
When you turn to look at everybody else, there's 2 children standing.
Where?
Oh.
So as you turn around, they're just standing there.
In the
Why
doorway?
Are you playing with our toys? They're just next to it, so in front of their beds on either side of that table. So as you turn around, Rose and Thorn, who you left outside, are just standing there next to
I was admiring the craftsmanship. This is a very good replica of your house.
I'm a half second away from her.
And
I'm
while
backing
I'm
away,
doing
just doing like the sign of the
while I'm
cross.
doing that, I'm pointing at it so you can see that there's the 6 people in the room.
I'm behind them yet, from my understanding where people are?
Yeah.
I want to walk up behind them and just try to put a hand on Rose's shoulder.
It goes straight through. These are clearly
That goes through. Okay, lovely.
This is a lovely representation of your house.
I'm going to shuffle back to Magic Man and say who's doing the Can you take care of this at all?
I thought we left you outside.
I don't know.
You don't have magics?
We haven't been outside
Magics.
since no one came back. No one came back.
Just stay here. We'll take care of everything in the house.
Are there?
I just need to talk to my friends for a moment.
Do they have dolls in the house?
Do they have dolls in the
Yeah.
house?
So there's the 6 of us on the floor.
Yeah.
Are there 2 children?
No.
Damn.
Okay. So, first of all, this seems to be a representation of the house, and it seems to have us in it.
They're our toys. You shouldn't play with our toys.
Oh, no,
they
I
are
was-
our toys. Margaret would be sad if we left it messy.
No, I will close the dollhouse when I'm finished. I just need to talk to my friends for just a minute. And it
No,
appears
I think
as
dogs.
Rose and Thorn are behind us,
Yeah, good.
they're also downstairs in the main foyer with the dog. But I did find the entrance to the basement.
Is Margaret nice to you?
Margaret's lovely. She looks out.
What about Elizabeth?
Mother
Yeah.
Mother told us that we had to stay here because we shouldn't go in the basement, and they locked the door to keep us safe.
Okay. Well, we better make sure we don't wander into the basement either. Could you tell us where the door is so we don't accidentally go through it?
You can see there's a secret.
I saw where it is.
Okay.
And she's pointing to the doll's
Now,
house.
I'll just close the dollhouse.
You're not very
I can imagine.
And Dawn is sobbing.
Do you feel hungry now?
No, I feel tired.
Maybe you should probably rest.
So she sits down on the floor with her toys, and she seems to be trying to play with that. He's just going through the toys.
Can I try to do like a ritual to try to help them move on?
Yeah. You can give me a religion check.
Religion check.
And with your investigation check, you, in addition to the toys and the doll's house, you also see a small book on the floor.
I will pick the book up.
Okay.
I got a 9.
You think that, from what you understand about spirits that are trapped, this is to do with the fact that they're not at rest, that they're not buried, that they've not had the appropriate rituals that would go with being dead. There are lots of those in the Church of the Morning Lord.
I was going to say,
how to appropriately inter people.
what as like
You would just know that. You could have failed. You'd have still known that. Yeah.
as like chill druids, can I do some very basic funeral rites just over the bodies that don't involve buryment or anything like that?
Yeah.
And see if that makes
And
it.
so can you, but you feel, so within
They
your
need to be buried.
religious
We need
background,
to
you think they
finish
need
this first, and then
interring
proper
and having a
burial.
proper
Buried in consecrated ground.
interring of some
being much more
description.
peace and love.
And your peace and love.
chill on the planet Earth.
Feel free.
I will go over and do what I can with what I have on hand, which I definitely don't carry any holy objects with me on hand. I have a bit of wine,
Yeah.
which I'm sure counts as something as followers of Dionysus. Like, that's got to be something vague there. But I will do what I can to the bodies and see if that has any effect.
Okay.
I will then usher everyone out quietly.
Okay.
And
Don't leave us. Don't
No,
leave us.
we'll-
Have you found our brother? Have you found
we're,
our brother?
we're actually looking for your brother right now.
We're
We'll be
going to
back
go
shortly.
get him, and then we'll be back.
We're sad.
Where's
We
his
don't want to be on
house?
our own
And-
anymore.
You
I'll
can come
take-
with us if you like.
Are you offering that?
I just said that. I may regret it, but I think so, yes.
Okay. In that case, wisdom save.
7, let's go. That is a 10.
Suddenly, you have appears to be Rose.
Hmm.
You would recognise her in your head.
Oh, lovely.
Talking to you. Going,
Possessed.
are we going to find Walter now? Are we going to find Walter? I think we should find Walter.
We're going to go
Walter
find
now.
Walter.
And Ethelbert, make a wisdom save.
Am I still in control of my body? Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's not as
It's
bad.
more that, yeah.
They're hitchhiking.
Hey, hitchhiking.
Hitchhiking.
Look, I've got plenty of extra room up there.
That's fine.
What's this kid's intelligence score? They can take charge.
You feel suddenly much more a 12. So you suddenly have a sobbing 5-year-old in your head, who is very sad. He's scared, and he doesn't want to go anywhere. He's just really, really, really frightened. So you can just hear him sobbing in your head. Oh, really, Frank, I'm scared. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go down the basement. And you've got this sort of, we need to go now, and I'm not taking any arguments about
Right,
it.
let's
So
do
you
it.
would become much more,
Confident.
don't mess with me, I'm 10.
I'm 10, I'm freaked out.
And you're
Right,
freaked out,
TC,
you've got
show us the
5-year-old
secret
in
door.
your head,
Mr. Zappa.
and you picked up the book.
Yeah, I've got the book.
Okay,
I'll
are
have
you
a
having a look at
I'll
the book?
quick flip.
Okay, as you flip through the book, it appears to be a diary of a 10-year-old girl. It's got lots of sort of sketches, and butterflies, and like bits and pieces. It would also appear, and you would recognise this, that Rose had some rudimentary magic skills. So in between all the little pictures of butterflies and flowers and sad faces and pictures of food and grapes and things like that, there's a line, there's some bits of text there. It worked. Uncle Dimmoff came up again, but this time I was ready for him and shocked him. That was the issue. He won't come back. Okay?
Seems the little girl had some talent for magic.
And inside that journal, you can find what appears to be, it acts as a spell book. So mending light and chopping grass as a spell book.
Quite a clever little girl.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Can I ask Rose about that in my head?
Yeah. What are you asking?
Well, I'm just if
I'd be saying that she was able to cast magic. And
Rose,
this basically acts as a spell book.
I'd say
What a talented little girl.
Rose, could you do magic?
If I had to, and sometimes I had to. Sometimes Uncle Dimov came and he wasn't nice. He wasn't nice.
What did Uncle Dimov do that wasn't nice?
I think we should go to the basement. I think we
Okay,
should
we're going to the basement. I just
she
wanted to...
clearly does not want to. We're going to the basement, and she is.
So
and you
I will-
clearly get the feeling she's
I will
not.
lead everyone to the basement.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about while you're up here, or are you just heading straight down to the basement?
Let's go to the basement.
Let's go to the basement. Okay, fine. So you know that this, that what appears to be a solid wooden wall here is in fact a doorway down to a spiral staircase. So let's look at it.
Basement.
And this is a stone spiral staircase, and it goes down and down and down and down and down and down, and you feel that it's going below the house, and that it's much further down. You sort of know that you have not stopped at the kitchen, or it's just kept going down. It's much further.
While we're walking down, do I have time to check out the 4 spell scrolls I got? Or is that going to take like if I just glance over those, can I tell what they are?
So I'll tell you, there is useful stuff, which is not that surprising, because I'm not completely...
As we're going down, I'll be saying, we're probably going to be in for a fight, so if you have to prepare to do anything, do it on the way.